From downtown, this is Tim Kitzer from NBA Jam, and you're listening to NintenDomain Podcast. Boom shakalaka!
This week on NintenDomain, we have John Lester here to talk about Dead Tomb, and I ran into a crazy game-breaking bug. Not for Dead Tomb.
Thanks for having me.
Who knew being the good guy could mean killing so many good people?
I'm lying in wait just like Agent 47.
Welcome to NintenDomain Podcast, episode 406, your place to hear Nintendo fans talk to other Nintendo fans about making NES games and that sort of thing. And we are your hosts. I'm Trey, must have been a Tomb Raider Johnson.
I'm Jereme. Hey, I finally made my wrestler, Mikowski.
And I'm Baba is John Knitter.
And we have a special guest this week as well, John Lester. How's it going?
Good. Hey, guys. Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it.
John Lester.
Hey, welcome, John.
So, John, did we decide John K, John L?
We could do that, yeah, because we have two Johns here, just so we know who's who.
There's different Johns, but they're both John.
Yeah.
Spelled differently. Hey,
we're used to it. Johns are used to it.
Yeah, it was just a common name. Yeah.
I overheard John talking to you, John, about seeing your YouTube channel. I realized that I have as well.
Oh, nice.
I think I've watched your I've watched a lot of your videos, but in particular I think I found you because I think you did videos of MGC possibly.
Yeah, I've been doing videos for a while. I'm one of the OTs.
Did you do Midwest Gaming Classic stuff before?
I have. I've been there twice. Oh, 3 times.
Oh, okay. Because we've
Nice.
done we've recorded episodes there as well, like for our podcast. Like
oh, excellent.
If you saw me, I have this big giant recorder that I use like in movies and TV and stuff that I brought around to record people with. I'm hoping to get a smaller one for next time, but
it's a great event. It helped motivate me, to be quite honest, to do my own event in Phoenix called Game One Expo.
Oh, nice.
I've been doing since 15, so had a lot of fun doing that. But thank you for having me, guys.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, it's great to have you here.
Yeah, I didn't. I feel so left out because I haven't seen the YouTube stuff, but I need to.
I don't
watch. I'm not really that much of a YouTube person, so I don't know all the stuff on there. But we brought you on because you have an NES game coming to Switch, a homebrew game, right? Where you made it on your own, runs on a regular Nintendo. Dead Tomb is what it's called.
Dead Tomb, yeah. It's not only because it's coming out on Switch, which is super exciting. It's also coming out on the Xbox as well. So super excited about that. And hopefully down the road, Steam and all the other platforms. But super excited. Obviously, love the NES. I can tell you guys do too, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
This game is unique to most NES games because it's a point-and-click game, right? Where there's not many of those type of genre games for the platform, quite honestly, right? And not only that, but it's kind of a lost game in history because it's based on a really old school game called Temporal Ink and came out in North Canada, like Montreal area. My partners at CollectorVision Games are from that area, right? Montreal, and came out for kind of unique console called the Video Way, which is interesting. So
yeah,
was that like the Sega Channel or something?
Yeah,
the Satellaview.
It is kind of like the Sega Channel, right? Came out, from what I understand. Again, I'm not Canadian, so I'm not nostalgic to it like my partners are. But it came out in 1990. Only like 45 games or less came out for it. It was like a cable box as well, which is interesting. So it's kind of tied into a cable box, and it had a really strong following in that part of Canada. So this is a very unique game, and obviously we updated the graphics and updated the music and some of the gameplay, and just kind of gave it a little bit of a makeover, so to speak, update.
Yeah, I was really curious about that because I hadn't heard of Temporal Ink, and I was trying to I couldn't find any footage of it like anywhere, like even on YouTube. Like it's very
one of those.
Yeah.
it's one of those truly lost games, in time kind of situations. There's like
vaporware.
Yeah, I mean it's yeah, exactly. And there's like one video on YouTube that's kind of like grainy and not great quality on there that I've seen anyway. There's another game we ported over too called Jester. That's kind of a maze game, kind of like Pac-Man. And that's coming out for the NES too. So, but anyway, back to Dead 2. I'm super excited about this title, and just it's very unique.
Yeah, like I'm trying to think of other point and clicks on the NES. Like, what's the one that's on the NSO service right now?
Well, there's Maniac Mansion was one.
Maniac Mansion is one. Yeah.
I think King's Quest came out for the NES.
Deja Vu.
Weird.
Actually, when I was playing Dead Tomb, the first thing that it reminded me of was Shadowgate, just with using the different words to do puzzles, like that sort of thing. So that just automatic, which I love Shadowgate. So that's one of my old faves. So I was like, oh, okay, I get it. And yeah, it works really good as and I know John, you mentioned this in the notes, but it works really good as a point and click, because you kind of like, you don't necessarily have to point and click. You kind of like walk and then choose a verb to interact with things.
Yeah, exactly. Right. It's not like you have to like old school. I think old school point and clicks. I think like Apple II games like for Sierra, and you type in like open door and you do the wrong verb and you mess it up. Right. So no, certainly we have action buttons or words there you choose from, and the game is challenging. It's got a lot of puzzle elements. You got to get certain items. There's actually like very few, if not any, enemies in the game, which sounds interesting, right? But it's kind of you against trying to get a special item to escape, right? You land on like an old Egyptian, kind of like Stargate. It's a very Egyptian themed, which is awesome. I love that.
I guess the enemies are kind of the game in itself, right? Because
exactly.
You can easily die. Yeah, you can die pretty easily.
You can definitely die in the game, right? It's for sure. I mean, there's like a snake that can bite you. There's arrows that can fire at you and things like that. But there's not the sense where like you have to go and battle against an enemy per se, right? So I
like those kind of games because you can play them sort of at your leisure. Like you said, you do die, but there's nothing like chasing you down. And you have to figure this out in 30 seconds, and you just want to like. You want to play a game where you're not leaning forward, you're leaning back. You just kind of
for sure.
Take time to figure things out.
No time clock, no countdown. That'd be making it really nerve-wracking if there was, right? But it's a lot of just like trying to figure out kind of like what do I need to do, where I go, get a certain item, unlock this item. But I'll tell you what, like when you figure it out, it's one of those games that's super rewarding, right? And it's like, yes, I got it.
I agree. Yeah. I was really looking forward to this when I heard the genre was point and click. Point and click is one of my personal favorite genres from back in the day, and I also thought like on the NES, some of the NES point and clicks, I couldn't, as much as I liked the genre, I couldn't quite jive with them because I felt like it was those older ones. Some of them were trying to fit something into the NES that didn't really fit. It was really like a PC genre, right? They didn't know how to quite get it, but I think you guys figured something out really cool. Where one, you got all the the action verbs on the screen, so you're not, like you said, guessing, typing random words or whatever. And then second, like when you're walking around, it's really helpful when something interactive is highlighted. There's like a finger that points at it to say, hey, you can interact with this. You're not just like some of those old games you would just see. It would be like a Where's Waldo thing. You didn't know exactly what you could interact with, but you guys came upon a formula for NES that really works for.
I don't know if you guys notice or not, but a lot of the items you get in the game, and we call them different things, but if you look in the menu item and you look at them, like, well, that's the NES Zapper, that's the Power Glove. So there's like a lot of like Easter eggs, I guess we'd call that, right? We call it a game system in the game, but it's actually a Game Boy that you can find. And I don't know if you guys knew this or not. There's actually a hidden game within the game that you can play.
Nice. That I didn't know.
And it's called Runner, and it's super fun. It's an 8-bit, like kind of green tint like you play on a Game Boy, and it's a really fun game. It's within the game, so very very excited about that little Easter egg there as well.
Nice. Yeah, I always love. I love a game within a game. It's especially if it's within the context like that, where it's like a system that you find that has a game in it that you can play on itself.
Yeah,
It's
you
always
can
fun.
use it. You find the handheld, you find the Game Boy, but you have to have like the foresight to say use, and if you can use it, then yeah, you can play it. There's
Nice.
a game on there. We designed.
That's cool.
Can you? Go ahead, Trey.
I was just gonna say that I think the game looks really good, like as far as like graphics go, and I like the pixel art that you get, like whenever you go from like room to room, like how it kind of has like the camera behind you and shows like the silhouette of you, like going to the next thing. It feels cinematic, even though it's an NES game, but it still feels very much like a cinematic, like a Tomb Raider type thing, esque.
Yeah, we that's shout out to Gary and JF for the graphics and the pixel art in the game. I think they did an incredible job. Initially, our goal was to make it more animated in terms of those cutscenes and make it like you can kind of see more crawling more. But just with the limitations of the NES, to be quite honest, it was a little challenging to do that. But I still think it turned out great, and it's a very cool. And like you can kind of see the pyramid, so to speak, and kind of move room to room. I think that's very unique. I haven't really seen that in a point and click game before, where you can kind of choose where your path and where to go.
Yeah, the map helps a lot, and you can actually move from room to room, like with the analog, with the digital pad and all that. So I mean that really helps a lot to figure out where you're going.
Yeah, absolutely.
Can you speak a little bit more on what's your role on the game? What was your
absolutely
on the game?
I'm co-owner of CollectorVision Games. And so my role with Dead Tomb specifically was I was involved in a lot of the testing for the game. I wasn't. Shout out to my partner JF. He's really the mastermind behind it. To quite honest, he did a lot of the sprite work, and it's his baby, so to speak, right? So I helped a lot with the testing. I obviously teamed up with 8-Bit Legit and worked with Tim, his team, great guys over there, and kind of helped with the marketing and the PR as well. So that's kind of my role.
A little bit of everything.
A little bit of everything, yeah. More or less.
For such a small company, though, it's really cool to see publishers like y'all getting on the Nintendo Switch. That's, going back in time, telling someone, telling a younger you would be part of a game that's on the newest Nintendo console. That's got to feel pretty good.
No, absolutely.
Newest and oldest.
Switch is my favorite modern console, right? I mean, I play my Switch all the time, and I'm sure you guys are huge fans too, right? So I think it's a great system for playing games like this, right? I mean, it uses cartridges, right? And eventually I'd love to get this game released physically, right? For the Switch. This isn't our first game for the Switch. Our first one was actually called City Hunter and the Curse of the Mayan. And that's been out for right before COVID hit. So, and that is different though, because that was built on Unity, and that's even though it's an 8-bit game, it's got more modern elements. But what I love about Dead Tomb is that it is truly an NES game, right? It's like when you're playing on the Switch, that's the same experience that you're gonna get playing on an NES, right? So that's super cool.
And that's great because we've talked to some people from 8-Bit Legit before, and it's just nice to feel like I'm not being hoodwinked into thinking that this is like an old NES game, because we all know there's games made modernly that are made in an NES style, but there's like things that you could never do that on the NES, or there would be way more sprite flicker in this scene here,
Yeah, I mean,
but your game is like, as I say, 8-Bit Legit.
Yeah, that's the name of it, 8-Bit Legit. Yeah, and that's got because it's 4:3 aspect ratio. We got the borders and things like that. And I think the game would look kind of weird stretched, to be honest with you. I think it it's really intended to be 4:3 and just kind of old school,
And it feels great in that way, if I'm playing the game for 2 or 3 minutes, I forget that I'm playing a Switch, and it does feel like I'm playing an NES. I just thought I didn't even give it a try, but does it work with the NES Switch controllers?
That's a great question, and I'm assuming it would. Because our other game that we released is compatible with the NES controller, because we intentionally deliberately did I'm pretty positive it would, because the mapping would be the same. It's only 2 buttons, a D-pad,
The Switch recognizes it as a Pro controller when you're not using it in the app.
Okay.
Oh, right.
Cool.
Yeah, I was gonna say it should work because for Dead Tomb, it's just it's just one. It's just pretty much the one button to confirm, and then the control pad, and that's about all you really need from what I've seen.
Yeah.
So this next question that I got for you, it's going to come, out of being related to the game, but also just out of my personal need to know this. Is there a spot where point and click adventure fans go to speak and commiserate on their favorite genre, specifically for an NES game?
I saw your question on the notes, podcast notes, and I'm trying to think about it, man. I can't really think of anywhere, because I know the fans are out there, like you and me, right? There are people out there who appreciate and love that genre. But you kind of mentioned it too, like the NES really wasn't, to be honest, like a great platform for it, right? It was more of a PC thing. So I think, Dead Tomb's kind of unique in the sense that, we've made it feel right for the NES, So
it works.
It works, yeah.
There's not a point and click RS club or anything like that you can. I'm sure
you have like a Reddit. Maybe there'll be a Reddit forum or something.
I'm sure you can find a Facebook group that's like point and click lovers.
I'm sure there are.
It's amazing what weird shit you can find. Like
If anybody out there knows, please message us.
Yeah, please.
I could probably find one. As the I like the running joke about the Tomb Raider stuff. That's what I said as my nickname earlier. I must have been a Tomb Raider because every time you look at a dead body in the game, that's what it says. Whenever you find the skeletons, if you examine them, it says must have been a Tomb Raider. So I was like, I was like, there's my middle name right there. Definitely works with it. Yeah, there's a lot of fun, like little, like I said, little nods and stuff like that in there to various things.
I noticed that there's a very famous name attached to this game, a very famous company name attached to this game. And that got me really excited. I was like, okay, how did Acclaim become involved?
Yeah. Well, we actually, CollectorVision Games, we acquired the name. Like if you go to the trademark database in the US database, we actually own the Acclaim name. We acquired it probably, 6, maybe 8 years ago. It doesn't give us the right, we don't have like the library of IPs. We can't go and like publish old Acclaim games, unfortunately, right? But we can publish new games under the Acclaim label.
Still, that's cool.
Interesting. Yeah, I was wondering about that because John was like, there's an Acclaim on here which I haven't seen for a while. But I was like, I just played the re-release of Turok 3, and like that's at the beginning of that too. Like they do the Acclaim logo and all that. So I don't know how, because I know like was it Night Dive Studios or whatever just took Turok and just redid it, maybe because nobody cared or nobody owned it or whatever. So,
right.
Yeah.
That
sort of thing.
Yeah, it's like we don't have the IPs. Maybe they purchased the IP and maybe that's included, but. Like we couldn't do a new like NBA Jam game or anything like that with Acclaim.
Oh, sure.
But we can do new ones. Yeah.
Yeah, it looks like Acclaim as it used to be started collapsing in 2004.
Yeah.
I'm reading the Wikipedia article. Right
I was gonna say, I thought it had been done for it a while, but it's interesting to see, new stuff from it. And I was curious. I know like the company that. Was it Renegade Kid or whatever they formed from old Acclaimed workers, so I thought maybe it was like with that. So, but
we also I don't know if you guys know the name Exidy. It's an old
familiar.
They did games like I'm trying to think like Pepper 2. There's Mousetrap, things like that. But anyway, we acquired that name too. But that's a very old, more even older school. That's like Atari, ColecoVision. Time frame, early 80s. So we acquired that as well.
Nice.
That's awesome. That's another thing that's got to feel pretty cool to be like, I own the Acclaim name now. Another thing that you want to go back and tell your 8-year-old self one day you're going to own the Acclaim name.
I know, right? It's pretty wild. So, and you can tell the people who really know the brand because they spell with a C. A lot of people try to spell with K. KK, It's a C, Acclaim.
Growing up, I always thought it was K just because the design, it looks like.
Yeah,
it looks very like.
Surprised to learn it was a C not that long ago.
Yeah.
So now, those of you, maybe we talked about this before the show actually started, before we actually started recording, but there might be some people out there hearing John's voice and go, "Well, that guy sounds familiar." Well, on YouTube, you are known as Gamester81.
Gamester 81, 81 being the year I was born. Started back making videos back in 09. And I'm a huge gamer. I'm a big Star Wars fan. I have a Star Wars channel too on YouTube. called Star Wars Nut 77. Just started making videos and was kind of one of the OGs in the YouTube gaming community, to be honest.
Yeah.
And I still do it for fun.
Yeah,
and
nice.
occasionally I'll post,
That's pretty damn early for a gaming channel.
Yeah, I was very early. Like James Rolfe was obviously early. He was a big inspiration for me. Happy Console Gamer was a good friend of mine. Still is very close. I'm going to see him a couple months at my event here in Phoenix. But other than that, like there's very few gaming channels out there when I started. So it was wild.
It's nice to be there at the very beginning, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
when I was a kid, I'm sure a lot of people did, but when I was like in high school, I used to record myself playing games on VHS tapes and stuff like that, and give them to people at high school. Like I remember I met a kid in art class that like the Mystical Ninja, so I recorded myself playing the 64 game and was like, here, take a look at this game that you said you liked once. So like I did stuff like that, but I was like, I wish I would have got. We all kind of wish we would have got into it like way back at the beginning and all that.
I had no idea
when you didn't even think it was going to be a thing.
No, I had no idea. I just did it because I have a pretty extensive console collection. I have like over 200 unique consoles in my collection.
Wow.
And there wasn't any information online about them, to be quite honest, right? And so I just started doing my own research, like about Nintendo 64 disk drive, for example, or some unique. And I just started doing videos and posting them online, and people liked it. I cringe when I watch my old stuff, to be honest. Like it's funny because looking back on it, I was like in a small, just had recently been married in a small house. I usually do my filming at night when my wife was asleep, so I'm whispering very quiet in a lot of my videos. Lighting's terrible, but despite all that, I guess people connect to do it, which is great. And grew the channel. I've a little over 100,000 subscribers now, and just really honored and be part of the YouTube gaming community.
Nice.
We also got to realize like technology wasn't where it is now, so you can.
Oh, that's true, for sure.
But I think like it's good to cringe on your old self, as they say, because that means you're growing, right?
No, that's 100%, Jeremy, 100%. So.
I mean, yeah, I remember just like digitizing like VHS tapes like on my old computer and all that. Just doing that stuff before. I mean, that was my first like thing I ever did on our YouTube channel was basically taking like our movies. Cause John and I, we went to film school together, John Nitter,
cool.
and like it was basically taking like VHS tapes of stuff that we'd shot in film school and putting it on YouTube.
Yeah.
Like that was like the first thing I ever did. I filmed stuff with Jereme too, obviously, but
right.
Years ago.
I have 10-year-old twin boys, and trying to explain what a VHS tape to them the other day, and like their minds are blown. Like, what? You got to rewind it, and
Oh yeah,
how does it,
it's fun.
It's funny.
Did you tell them the story of the Betamax VHS battle of yesterday?
Oh yeah.
Well, we used to have two tapes, and one of them was smaller and better, but the other one, was the one that went.
Right.
Something tells me you probably own a Betamax.
Surprisingly, I don't own a Betamax, which is crazy. But I know my dad had a Betamax, growing up.
Didn't they like bypass the security feature when you were like copying tapes? Wasn't that something people liked about them?
Possibly, because my dad had a huge collection of beta tapes that he had cross recorded from other stuff. So
my favorite platform, honestly, is Laserdisc.
Oh yeah,
I love Laserdisc, and you can go slow motion on those things, and it's great. I love the Laserdisc.
Is there anybody making Laserdiscs? I doubt it, but
no, it's funny because you mentioned that because I know like records have come back, right? Vinyls. But Laserdisc, I'm afraid I don't think they are making new Laserdisc. But I would love to see like Avatar on Laserdisc, or I'd love to see the new Star Wars on Laserdisc, or some of these great movies on Laserdisc. I'd love to see it. Do
you ever like cross promote stuff? I mean, I like, have you done stuff on Dead Tomb like on Gamester 81 or anything like that, like for collectors?
Oh yeah. And that's how I got involved with CollectorVision games initially. Kind of long story short, my very first console growing up was the ColecoVision, right?
Me too. Yep.
That, and shoot, it must have been back in 08, 09. Because that's when I started my channel. So I'm trying to think math when I started. But anyway, early 2010-ish, I created a ColecoVision game called Game 31, the game, right? Pretty original, right? And it was for the ColecoVision. And then I got connected to the CollectorVision guys. Through that, became partners, good friends, and I've been with the company for probably 8 years or more, and just really love the guys. Love, it's fun making games. A lot of work though, and it's definitely a lot of work. But we definitely love a blast doing it.
And like these, like you were saying before, like a lot of these 8-bit legit produced stuff, ones that we talk about on here. There's actually like physical carts, right? There's physical cartridges that can go in your NES, and you can play it on like an original system. Correct, right?
For
Dead Tomb, yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. So with 8-bit legit, we're doing a 300 run copy, which is cool. And they're like blue carts. And yeah, they'll play on your NES. Comes with a map, comes with instructions, obviously the cart box. The artwork, shout out to Oscar who does the artwork for us. He lives in Mexico, one of the most talented artists I know, honestly. And I think he did an incredible job with the artwork on this one.
Yeah, it looks real good. Like I definitely like what I've seen of it. Like I said, it seems reflected. Like there's the artwork for the front, but also the pixel art kind of reflects like what you see on the
absolutely,
that sort of thing. Yeah,
I'm interested in this. I'm a huge fan of Deja Vu's my favorite point and click on the NES, and probably the only one I've beaten. We played that escape room game. What was that called?
Any Escape?
Yeah, Nescape
or Nescape.
I only beat that because I watched a tutorial or whatever. But still, I did beat it.
That's a really fun game. Came out several years ago, right?
Yeah, we did I think it just came to Switch. Was it last year? We did an interview with them
about a year ago on Switch, but it was up before that.
Yeah, that's another unique game, though. I love what they did with it, and just like the different lights you have to switch on and off, and just like very cool, very clever. I think that was a brilliant game.
It must be fun to be part of the NES, I guess, homebrew community, coming up with your own NES games and putting them out there.
It is fun, and it is a great community. I mean, I think there's probably more homebrew NES games now than original NES games, right?
Probably, yeah.
But which I think is awesome. And I love, and that's not even including the hacks and
right,
all the other and that's even cool. It's definitely cool. I would never imagine growing up as a kid, obviously being a huge fan of the NES in the 80s, that as an adult I'd be making games for the platform, right? I mean, it's pretty mind blowing.
Yeah.
That it would still be around. Maybe as a kid you wouldn't think about it being gone, but
and if I had a time machine, I would buy all the games. I go back and buy I'd be getting my Flintstones. I'd be getting all those games.
Oh, yeah.
It's also just amazing these old ass consoles still work. Like most Nintendos just work still.
Yeah, no, for sure.
I mean, I've got two that don't, but
I love what Analog has done. With making FPGA consoles. I think that's great because now you can play them on HDMI and on modern monitors. But I'm an old school guy too, so I do like playing on my CRT. When I play on the NES, that's my preferred way to play, for sure.
Definitely.
Yeah, I've got. So these guys know, but I've got a Miss Pac-Man arcade machine,
awesome.
And the CRT. It unfortunately, it's not any good anymore.
Have you capped it? Have you tried giving new caps?
I've not tried any kind of repairs or anything. I'm not really that technically knowledgeable. Okay. I did ask somebody, what would it take to get a new CRT installed in this thing? Well, apparently it's like $700 or something for a CRT.
$700
these days. That's
almost as much as the cabinet itself.
Exactly. Yeah,
that's crazy. Is there like no image at all, or is it like burn tint, or like what's the issue with it?
It's got there's patches where it just doesn't come in, and then there's some other problems with the machine as well. But the main thing being the CRT would have to be replaced. And the guy told me it's like $700 for the new CRT, or you can get a LED for $200 or whatever.
Right.
Right. But I don't want to go with the inauthentic version. I want the authentic.
It's a different look, right? No, I respect that. It's a different look. The modern it is a different look. I own a handful of arcades myself, and I'm always scared to death to touch monitors, even if the thing's been off for a while because they hold a charge. And if you don't ground them before you unhook them up and stuff, it can shock you.
Zap.
I always get scared touching monitors, So but Miss Pac-Man's a classic for sure.
And I'm sure it's a lot more complicated than just like putting a TV in there, right? Like you have to to hook it up to the arcade stuff and all that, you have to take the back off or something, like for whatever you have going on, John Knitter.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm scared to touch it, so I don't want to break it even more.
Don't get rid of it though, John. Don't get rid of it. You got to
No way.
Yeah,
I'm holding on to her for dear life.
She's a classic. You can't get rid of her because it's iconic. And is the artwork, is the side art still pretty good shape?
It's still in good shape. Yeah, actually. So a lot of our listeners have heard the story, but I found it when I was walking home from work one day.
Oh, nice.
A guy was wheeling it out of the bar. I just right time, right place. And then I called up Trey, who was the only guy who I knew who had a big enough car.
Oh, yeah.
And 10 o'clock at night, Trey came down.
Well, I didn't.
I mean,
my car definitely was not big enough. Basically, what happened was my girlfriend at the time, like her roommate had a big car, and that was how we got it. It wasn't my car. Like we had to call a couple people. But I went to try, because I had just like a regular it was like a sedan.
And this is like 300 pounds. They're not like
huge.
And I don't know if you live on like a multiple story, if you take upstairs or not, but I've done that before, and that's definitely not fun. I think it's great what Arcade 1-Up does with arcades, but there's nothing like the original.
Yeah. I agree. I agree. I've got a couple of the Arcade 1-Ups, and right now the Miss Pac-Man lives at my parents' house. I'm at my parents' house at the moment.
Okay.
So sitting down in the basement right now, and I'm like, I'm never moving that thing around again. I love that thing, but it lives here now.
Right. You got it downstairs is one thing, right? Now getting back up, good luck.
Yep, that's it.
Just gotta pop a couple of power pellets. You got this.
There you go. Yeah, no, arcades are awesome. I love the classic arcades.
Is there is there any like upcoming stuff for CollectorVision that you can talk about that's going past Dead Tomb?
Yeah, of course.
Like what's after Dead Tomb?
Dead Tomb 2, 3, and 4. No, I'm just joking. I love that. I love that sequels of Dead Tomb. That'd be cool, right?
Why not? Yeah, keep it going.
I would. We are working on Jester, which is coming out for the NES. I mentioned that, alluded to that a little bit earlier. That's coming out for the NES. That's a puzzle game. Not a puzzle game. I'm sorry. It's a kind of a maze game, right? So it's like Miss Pac-Man, right? Nice. But there's multiple angles and facets to it as well. So that should be coming out actually fairly shortly. Hopefully next month, we'll be announcing that. Working with Megacat with that, so that's going to be super exciting. I mentioned City Hunter and the Curse of the Mayan. It's on Switch right now. It's also on Steam. It's coming out on February 6th for PlayStation and Xbox platforms, which we're super excited about. And that's truly a love letter for 8-bit, like old school games, right? It's Mayan themed, which is great. I love the Egyptian theme, right? But I think followed by the Egyptian theme, I'd have to go with the Mayan. And the best way to explain that game is like Mega Man meets Castlevania, gameplay wise, right? So you have a whip. There's a lot of Mega Man, like the boss battles are very Mega Man-y, so to speak. There's like parts of the game like reappearing blocks that you get in the Mega Man. The music is very Capcom-ish kind of sounding music in some cases. So that is kind of our flagship game, and that's coming out for the modern platform. So we're super excited about that. We're working on a handful of games. There's a collection that we're working on with premium edition games that's going to be for the Switch physically. It's going to be like a collection of NES games actually, which is really cool. And Jester will be included in that. That should be out probably later this year. And then just a handful of ColecoVision games that we're working on as well. So kind of a lot in the pipeline, all very exciting stuff. We're all very stoked about it.
I'm excited about the ColecoVision games. You said Coleco was your first console. It was my first console too. So I just got a big soft spot for Coleco.
That's why our name is called CollectorVision, because we're all ColecoVision. We've probably produced, maybe 100 games for the ColecoVision, like unique games.
Hey, you guys are busy.
We released a couple years ago. We actually released, speaking of FPGA console, like we talked to Analog, we released one for the ColecoVision, like an actual console called the ColecoVision Phoenix. That is FPGA. It will play ColecoVision carts, but it's got HDMI out, and it's just a modernized ColecoVision console. So
that's awesome.
Yeah,
I got to look into that, because I'm thinking it's probably been a couple of years since I actually turned my ColecoVision on. I'm wondering if it works anymore, but I've got another solution.
Yeah, it's really cool. And there's like an attachment people have created. And the man, I'll tell you talk about homebrew community. I'll tell you the ColecoVision community is very strong, very niche, very small, but mighty.
Yeah.
And they released an adapter that can hook up to the ColecoVision and actually make the ColecoVision graphically look like an NES. So Dead Tomb is actually on our Phoenix console, and it looks just like you'd be playing on the NES on the ColecoVision, which is
that's amazing.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Really cool.
I can think of like some ColecoVision games that, in my mind, kind of were in the same ballpark as NES, but yeah, it was a pretty big jump to hear there's something that can actually turn up the dial and make it like an NES. That's cool.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, graphically, the ColecoVision is very similar to the Sega SG-100 or 1000, right? It's very graphically very, very similar to that. And we've ported some games from the SG-1000 to the ColecoVision just because it's an easy game to port, because graphically it's very similar hardware. So
nice. And
you mentioned you have an event which I'd heard about it through your videos before.
Okay.
When is your next event coming up?
Yeah, it's coming. It's called Game on Expo. It's coming out March. We're not coming out. It's coming. It's going to be happening March 15th through 17th. So
right around the corner.
Day weekend. Right. It's going to be around the corner. So it's coming up very soon. We started in 15. It's grown quite large. We're probably expecting. Honestly, I'm shooting for, and these are like unique numbers, not turnstile. 15,000 to 20,000 people to come out. Very old. I'm an old school guy, so I like to obviously very heavy on retro. But we also have a modern gaming esports element to it. We have tabletop, we have anime, we have arcade. So I don't know if you guys are familiar with or played Baldur's Gate 3. We've got some of the main.
Jereme's played it.
Okay, so we've got like Asterion. He's coming out. The guy who does the voice work.
Oh,
wow!
The award winner, the game award winner, right?
Yeah, he's coming out. Yeah, he's the award. Yeah, he's coming out from the UK.
Wow,
that's super cool.
That's awesome.
I had to book his flight the other day, and that wasn't a very fun flight to book. But it's going to be great to have him, and that's
especially
big
since he's a vampire. Yeah.
Right.
Oh man, you invited them into the
can only do night flights. Yeah,
exactly. And we've got a handful of other characters from that game as well, like Lizelle and some other ones. So we're doing a reunion that's never happened before in the US. We'll be the first ones to do it with Baldur's Gate 3 reunion. So
they're the hotness right now as far as
they're
they're all blowing up on social media doing like different things in their character voices, which is pretty funny.
Yeah. So super excited. We through the event I've become good friends with Tim Kitzrow, who's the voice of NBA Jam.
Yeah, we at the beginning of our episodes, we actually have Tim Kitzrow did like a NintenDomain promo for us, so I have his voice on there because
he's such a nice guy.
Because he's like somewhat local, right? Because he's like Midwest. Because we talked to him at the Midwest Gaming Classic. We did like an interview with him, and he did a little promo thing for us. So
that's great. At the beginning you guys would appreciate this. This year. We're also doing getting a lot of the guys from Rare, right? So
nice.
Awesome.
Dave Weiss, like they're all from Rare.
Dave Weiss.
Oh, the G.
Yeah. So what's cool is like he's coming out. He's bringing Grant Kirkhope. I mean, a whole bunch of other
nice.
They're going to perform on live. I think they did a Midwest Gaming Class. I think several years ago, they were there as well. But they're coming out to game on, and there's like 4 or 5 of them. So
awesome.
We're talking about the composer of Donkey Kong Country and.
GoldenEye and Perfect Dark,
all those classic games. I grew up. I'm sure you guys grew up playing as well.
His music's iconic. It's just like,
oh man, that underwater Donkey Kong track is like I could sleep to that every night. Like just puts me. I just love it.
You need to. Since Grant Kirkhope will be there, you need to demand justice for his proper crediting for the Super Mario Brothers movie. I don't know if you remember that.
Right.
He didn't get credited for the Donkey Kong rap that was in that. It just says it's from the game or whatever. It doesn't have his name on there.
It's a bunch of bullcrap.
That is bullcrap. And unfortunately,
I saw him on Twitter talking about it.
You can't really do much about it, right? Because you're going to go against Nintendo lawyers. Good luck, right? So
they could at least just throw him a bone and put his name in there. They don't have to
you could have redone the credits, do the Bill Finger thing and put his name.
Yeah.
in there.
That's why he did the Donkey Kong rap. I forgot he'd done that. Yeah,
I remember that being a thing on Twitter. He kept talking. I was like, "That's just fucked up, man. Come on, just put the guy's name on there in the credits."
One of them did Diddy Kong Racing too, the soundtrack, which is great.
Oh yeah, I believe it. Yeah.
I think so. Yeah.
That was a big thing for Rare. For me, it was always incredible soundtracks. It's fun games, but also incredible soundtracks.
Absolutely, and they worked on I was looking at his history of NES games. Speaking of NES games, I mean, shoot,
David Weiss did a bunch of shit too. Like he did Pinbot, the NES Pinbot game, and like WrestleMania, like one of the wrestling, like the WWF games.
Like it's RC Param, like one of my favorite games in the NES. And like, man, the list goes on and on.
It's like
Nightmare on Elm Street. He did the Nightmare on Elm Street soundtrack too. Yeah.
He did that too.
Yeah,
really?
Yeah. Well, that was a rare game. The Nightmare on Elm Street NES game was.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's wild.
Yeah. So it's
So anyway, it gives me a good excuse to meet some of these cool people. It's like it's a lot of work doing these events, though, right? It's the best way to explain it is like imagine having a house party. Throwing a party with all your friends, but on a much larger scale.
but not at your own house.
Not in your own house, but at a convention center.
Yeah, and at the house party, like you got to go around and say hi to everybody, give everybody 5 minutes. Like that's you with 15,000 people, giving everybody 5 minutes.
So I don't know how well you guys watch YouTube or not, but we do have some YouTube guys coming out. You guys know Metal Jesus Rocks? Metal Jesus.
Yep.
He's a good friend of mine. We were on a podcast together for years. A good guy.
Yeah, he's great.
Happy Console Gamer. Coming out, we have Nintendo. I don't know if you know his channel or not. He has great coverage on Nintendo products. Hence his name. His name's Drew, but he goes covers Nintendo stuff. Really good guy. He's coming out. So we've got a handful of content creators and voice actors, and it's a good time. We have a good time out there.
You doing like a cosplay thing or what? Anything like that?
Oh yeah, cosplay's big because we're different in the sense that like we're about 20-25% of our show is anime based, right? And we do have cosplay. In the past, we've always done Game On in August, which I don't know if you guys have been to Phoenix in August, but it's like 103,000 degrees out, and like
I bet.
super hot, and so that doesn't make it very friendly for cosplay, right? Because you're sweating your balls. But we moved it to March, which I don't know if you guys have ever been to Phoenix in March, but we're talking like 70-degree weather, 75 degrees.
Sounds better.
Yeah,
perfect.
And that's dry heat.
It's like we're talking like 30 degrees, 40 degrees difference, right, between the two. So that's good. Now, the challenge is I had my last event in August. Now I'm doing it again in March. So instead of having a year planning, I only have 6 months, 7 months of planning. So it's a little stressful in that sense. But, I think I have an amazing team that helps out. Couldn't do it without them. And we're super excited. I can't wait till it's over.
So is that where you're based out of as like a company or?
Yeah, I'm in Phoenix.
Okay.
My two business partners, JF and Toby,
so that makes sense. That's where you would host it. That's why I was asking.
Yeah. I grew up in Seattle originally, but I've been in Phoenix for probably 20 years now. And where are you guys in Midwest? I assume you guys are.
Yeah.
Okay.
They're in Chicago. I'm in Detroit.
Well,
okay,
awesome.
awesome.
I'm in Chicago. Jereme's in Champaign. But yeah, we're not that far away from each other.
Yeah, that's great.
Maybe like a 5 hour. Maybe 5 hours to you for me, John.
Okay.
Correct. Yeah.
Nice.
And I'm sure there'll be like a booth for Dead Tomb and CollectorVision and all that at the event, right?
Yeah, we've definitely had booth coverage in the past. Unfortunately this year I don't know if we will because I can't be at the booth. I can't man it. I got a show to run, So like,
well, sure, yeah. I mean, I didn't think you would be there, but
No,
there would
sure.
be still some representation of the company.
In the past, we have had like my partnership come out. This year, it's not going to work out just scheduling wise. So, but I always try to use Game On as a platform to promote Dead Tomb. And I told Tim over at 8-Bit Legit too, like what I'd like to do in the future. Not this year, I think it's too soon, but I'd love to have an area next year where there's an indie NES area, right? Where we have we can showcase the new NES games, what's coming out, and just because I think that's such a cool facet. I love that people are keeping the old school games alive, and I want Game On to be a platform. And I know other shows do a great job. Midwest does a great job at it. Just showcasing and introducing those games to the younger audience. That's what I love because you get the younger kids playing these games and enjoying the NES. That's awesome, right? That's what you hope for.
I think
it's always fun to show it to the younger generation. I don't have kids, but I got a nephew, and it's always fun for me to bring my Switch over and show him the NSO with all the older games and the ones that he gels with, the ones that he doesn't. It's interesting to see.
My kids are 10 now, but the first game they ever played was the 2600, and then I eventually moved on to CollectorVision, and then they played NES, and before they even played Fortnite, and before they even played Minecraft and all those games, just so they can appreciate the old school stuff.
Well, that's a proper.
Yes, you brought them up in chronological order. Yes.
Exactly.
Because they know it's a crash course. Yeah,
they introduce to Fortnite first or whatever, and then they're going to look at the old school stuff and they're like, "Oh, that's stupid, and it's not because that's what kids think because they don't understand that it's about the gameplay and it's about the story, and so just make them appreciate it more.
And now Fortnite's pretty much like a console in its own right.
Now it's got like 4 or 5 games within the Fortnite
I know they have
umbrella or whatever.
I was seeing they have like a Rock Band mini game within it
do,
too. And they have like a Lego thing now, and like, dude,
the racing.
The Lego thing is awesome.
Yeah. They have a racing one now too, right? Yeah, because they got
the Rocket League racing thing too.
Rocket League, yeah, but it's like a Rocket League but racing. It's interesting. But hey, whatever keeps them busy, I suppose. So
that was like you were talking about like representation for NES games and all that at conventions. That's like how we originally met up with like 8-bit legit, more or less. It was
beautiful
because it was what was it the company that did the Haunted Halloween.
Retrotainment.
Retrotainment. Yeah, I knew it was Retro something. Yeah, because that's the same because he does both, right? 8-bit and Retrotainment.
I think my understanding is 8-bit Legit's a partnership with Retrotainment and Mega, right? So
that's how we originally met them, was through that, because they had their own like NES room, like in the very first Midwest Gaming Classic, where it showed like the new NES games, and I started talking to people there, and it was the Haunted Halloween stuff was big, and we talked to them about that. And
I love that game. I love both of them, 1 and 2.
Yeah,
I always played during Halloween time, and I just love the look and graphics. So they did such a great job on that game, and how you turn into a zombie when you get hit, and just the whole thing is cool, very clever.
Have you played Full Quiet at all?
I have played Full Quiet.
Yeah,
that's another really
pretty damn good.
That was another big release last year that we talked to them
about. Yeah, that was a really fun game too. I played that. Yeah, that came out for the Switch recently as well, right?
Yeah, it came out last year.
A couple months ago,
last year, yeah. So very cool.
It would be neat to have like a 8-bit legit booth that just has all the physicals that they've that they've produced, like have Dead Tomb and any Escape and Full Quiet and all those games.
100%.
Next week,
and I would love, like, speaking with my business cap on, I'd love to get like an exclusive, like just not an exclusive game, but like a show exclusive cover, maybe put a sticker on it or something. Like
that'd be great.
Yeah,
make it like unique.
Have
I do
like
that with
a specific colored cartridge for the event that you can only
do,
get there.
Do a special colored cartridge. I mean, I do partner with my friend Jeff, who owns a premium edition games, and we do have like every year the last 3 years we're doing it again this year. I know Midwest Gaming Classic does the same thing, but we partner with them with a game release, and we put a special slip cover with Game On Expo's logo and dates.
I think there was a Doodle World was the one I got last.
Yeah, they have have like with the VIG. No, it was last time I was there, it was Exit Loop, because I have it looking at it right now.
Yeah,
I don't know what year that was, but
I love. Last time I was at Midwest, I think it was this past year, but I love that they release the like they have a whole bunch of homebrew games, right? They have like a special exclusive list from Genesis to NES to like, it's really cool. I love that they do that. So yeah, like I said, that show is definitely an inspiration for Game On. Portland Retro Gaming Expo. I don't know if you've ever been there or not in Portland. That's another great show. I would recommend you guys if you have time. I know it's kind of not too close for me guys.
I went in 2017. I actually played a whole like vacation around it and had a really good time.
Awesome. Yeah, great show. Great guys who run it.
It's far, but I'd love to.
I want to go to my bucket list this year is I want to go to Too Many Games. I haven't been there yet. I've heard nothing but good things about that show. I mean, there's a handful of shows. I just got back from MagFest this past weekend.
Oh, MagFest looked dope with the that Super Metroid, the Mother Brain costume.
Oh yeah. I didn't know. I didn't know what that was from. Like Jereme put it in the Slack, and I saw it, and I was like, "Wow, that's crazy looking."
Last time I went to MagFest was actually I was looking at 2013, so it'd been 10 years, almost 11 years, right? And it's just grown so much, which is really exciting to see. And they had what's super cool. Speaking of Metroid, they had I don't know if you heard of Metroid Metal. It's a band. They play metal music to Metroid, the covers to like metal style, and it's so awesome. And they had like cosplayers come out on stage, like dressed up as Samus and like all these different character enemies from Metroid, and such a great time. It was awesome.
Nice.
Did Rex Viper play this year?
Who?
Rex Viper. James
Maybe.
Rolfe's band.
Maybe. I know he was there for briefly.
Maybe I'm thinking of a different convention.
No, I know he was there. James was there for Brit, but I don't know if he performed, to be honest. Gotcha. 88. Who's a group that performed? They do like, group that's going to annoy me. It's called 88 something bit, 88 bits or something like that. But their premise is they play live music to covers, but they play the game. They have a guy on there on stage playing, like they did DuckTales, for example, right? So they have a guy playing DuckTales, but instead of game music, they play live for that, and the guy speed runs through DuckTales.
Oh,
they
nice.
did Castlevania.
I'll say like change up the track as it is the level.
Oh yeah, and so they have to change the track.
Live score.
After the boss battle, it changes, right? And it was the coolest, mind-blowing thing I've ever seen. I'm like, and this guy's playing this in front of thousands of people. And I'm like, dude, it's gotta be nerve-wracking to play.
No pressure.
Castlevania is a freaking hard game, right?
Yeah.
And this guy's like blowing through it and going through enemies, beating Dracula like it's no one. Didn't die once. And I'm trying to think what the other game was. There's 3: Castlevania, DuckTales, and there's a third game. Double Dragon. And he
great
blew through it, man. It was so cool. It was awesome.
Damn. Yeah, that would be cool.
Hey, I gotta go to more conventions.
Yeah.
I love going to conventions, man.
It's been a while.
It's so nice. It's nice going to a convention that I don't run, because Game On is my least favorite, because I say that because I'm running around putting in 50,000 steps a day. I don't have much time to enjoy it, So it's nice to go to a convention, appreciate the behind the scenes of what goes on. There's a lot of things that people don't realize, the expenses and all that go on, behind the closed doors. So
I imagine though, like going to a convention now that you actually run one, does running a convention ruin some enjoyment of the other convention? Like, are you always kind of working, picking up ideas? I could do this, I could do that.
Oh, sure.
Can you ever 100% just sit back and enjoy it?
Yeah, but then you're like, there's things I'm like, oh, that's a really good idea, and then there's parts I'm like, I wonder why they decided to do that. Not that I'm like nitpicking, but like, oh, that was an interesting decision to do that. Like whether like, oh, I wonder why they decided to go with wristbands opposed to like lanyards, or obviously it was a cost cutting thing, right? But it depends. Every show is different. But there hasn't really been a gaming event I've been to that I did not like, to be honest.
I just thought of something kind of random, but and feel free not to answer. But is there ever any like animosity between like people that run conventions with each other, if like essentially they feel like they're like poaching talent or whatever, bringing them to their shows and stuff?
It's a fair question for sure, right? There certainly within Phoenix area, we have like an anime show that's called Spottencon, and it's very anime heavy. And like I mentioned, Game On does have some anime elements, and that owner does not like Game On. And I don't know why. I'm like, look, there's like I tell him like, dude, there's like 6 million people live in Phoenix, 5 million people live in Phoenix. There's enough people to go around. Like like you can't just. He's very territorial when it comes to stuff like that. In terms of gaming conventions, no, I get along with. I know the other guys who run another good show I want to go to is the Cleveland Gaming Classic. I've heard that's a really good show in Cleveland.
It's a bit closer to
there. No, I mean we kind of have a group chat on Facebook, and a lot of the guys who run conventions, and we talk and share ideas, and we get along. So my good friend just bought SoCal Retro Gaming Expo, and I'm all supportive for that. I hope they do well. So
yeah, I went there. 3 years ago now? 4 years ago now? That was a good show too.
Yep. Yeah. Cool. Mm-hmm. Okay. Awesome. Well, one of these years, you guys got to come out to Game On.
Yeah, absolutely. I need a reason to get up to Phoenix. I've been wanting to go there. I've never been to Phoenix myself, but yeah, I keep hearing I got to come. So that's the reason now. Game On.
I'm going to be in the region in March, but I don't know if I'll be at that time.
Okay. All right. Well, if you do go in March, we're green on Sunday because it's going to be St. Patrick's Day.
So. It's St. Patrick's Day weekend. I didn't even realize that. I don't know. I don't keep track of when that holiday is.
Yeah, I think I'll be there at the end of the month.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
So, well,
for anyone who's in the Phoenix area, what is the location of the expo, and like, do you have like some deals or something?
It's at my parents' house. No,
they just happen to live in a convention center.
They just happen to live in a convention center. They have a really big basement, and we have a great time.
Yeah.
No, it's at the Phoenix Convention Center. GameOnExpo.com. In terms of games, CollectorVision.com, 8-bit legit. So I wear multiple hats in my gaming realm, right?
And as far as Dead Tomb, it'll actually be available for Switch when this episode releases on Friday. Yeah. So if you're listening to it right now,
right?
You'll be able to play the game. So and it's $4.99, super cheap. So I always want to try to plan it like that for the show, where we can talk about it. When we're talking about it, somebody can actually go and get it like right then, instead of like if it's not out yet, they'll probably forget about it and not get it. So I always try to plan it with release.
It's $4.99 and like $400.99, right? No, I'm joking.
Our listeners don't remember stuff.
Almost 500. No, it's not that expensive. No, yeah, almost less than $5, right?
Yeah, but if you're listening to this right now, you can go get it on the eShop and check it out.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you guys find that mini game, go look for it. It's that mini game within the game. Go hunt it down. Tag us on it, CollectorVision Games.
Yeah,
I'd love to see if you catch or not.
Nice. Yeah, and it was at Sydney Hunter's on there as well. It's $9.99, so it's a very good price for games on there. You don't have to. It's not like big full price games, but a lot of content in there for it. So
yeah,
good stuff to see. I was going to say, is there anything else either of you? Did either of you have any more questions for John before we go here?
I mean, I can probably pick your brain all day. That's not polite.
But just thanks for making your videos and entertaining us over the years. And also thanks for the game now.
Yeah, no, I appreciate it. Look, guys, I appreciate the support. Appreciate you guys having me on your show.
Definitely.
And always love talking to fellow gamers, right? That's good times.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you so much for joining us and talking to us and all that. And everybody who's listening, Dead Tomb, check it out. It's out now.
Thanks, guys.
Cool. Thank you. Take care.
Thank you, Joe.
Care. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. All right. Well, let's take a break then, and we'll come back and we'll talk about the games that we've been playing and whatever news we can get in.
Nice. Hey, you.
It's me, Mario.
Yeah, you. Subscribe to our Patreon to hear our bonus shows, which happen every month.
I'm tired.
Tired of all the big corporate podcasts spoon-feeding you the same old video game news on every single show?
Spaghetti. Ravioli.
Then expand!
With NintenDomain Expansion Pack.
It's us talking about old games that were important to us. It's us interviewing people that we meet at conventions. And heck, it's live shows from those same conventions. It's basically everything you could want that NintenDomain ever made.
Here we go! And it's just $1 a month.
That's less than a bad indie on the eShop.
It's $12 a year, which is less than Nintendo Switch Online.
Thank you so much for subscribing to our Patreon and supporting NintenDomain.
Just go to patreon.com/NintenDomain podcast and hey, Mario, let go. Whoa! He's throwing us back to the show.
So long, Bowser.
Patreon.com/NintenDomain podcast.
Game over.
Back from the break, and I thought, both of us, John and I, we got some things in the mail from Jereme.
We did.
Thought maybe we could do like a unison opening or one after another. I mean, Jereme knows what we got, so maybe we should do
recording. It's 1 month after Christmas or Christmas Eve, so better late than never.
It's fine. Hey, I just
The Christmas season goes until January 31st.
I'm really bad. I'm really bad at mailing stuff, as y'all will see. But
I just like I like just my niece like just got her Christmas gift like 2 days ago. But I explained it to her. It was because basically I bought her the album, the Vile album from the band that we saw at Reggie's because I thought it was really good. And she's their age and all that, and I thought she might be into it. But I wanted to buy the record, and the record was like super back ordered, so it didn't come to me until like weeks after I ordered it. And I texted her and told her about it, but I finally sent it there. So I was also late with Christmas stuff. But yeah, they have a new album coming out too. Because now I'm on the mailing list because I bought it from the record company and all that. So I already saw.
I think in March.
Yeah, in March, another one. So that's cool. Maybe they'll go on tour
March
again.
is a big month.
We can go see them because they were cool. But yeah, are they different things or are they the same things? Or you do it? You start it up.
I'd say you can kind of open them up and kind of pick stuff out. Whoever starts, but I will say there's a little card in there. I wrote each of you a little message.
Okay.
So try not to read it. Set it aside. Do your gifts and then read the card if you can.
Do the gifts and then read the card last.
Yes.
Yeah. Because last time there were little messages in there, and I was like, read it first and. Whatever. When I sent mine in November, but we can. Should we
learn from our mistakes on NintenDomain?
Do you want us to do in unison, or do you want us to do it separately?
I'd say both open in unison, and then whoever wants to pull a gift out first.
Okay.
I think the other person will know what to pull out after that.
Are they similar though? Are they like the same
they're
thing?
Similar. They're variations of the two.
Okay. Because these are actually sent from, like this isn't like an Amazon thing like what I did.
No,
like
I put this together myself.
Because I saw Jereme's handwriting on the front here.
It's one of the reasons it took so long to send it, because I had to actually put it together myself.
Hazmat surfaces. Look at that.
Yeah, I don't know why they put that on there.
I see a couple things in here. What should I? Here, I'll just pull one and just go with
pull out the smallest thing. Yeah, do that.
Smallest thing. Okay.
Okay, so I got a little Lego Batman guy. Is it a?
Little minifigure, like a little play set.
Yeah. It looks. Oh, you got us. John got a Sonic Lego.
Pulled out the equivalent things. I got a Lego Sonic the Hedgehog. This is Kiki's Coconut, the monkey guy.
It looks like
I don't know who that is, but
Kiki's Coconut Tech.
Full disclosure, that's the only Sonic one they had. So I was like, well, it's still Sonic at least.
This is the monkey
I don't know
guy
if you know who Kiki is.
40 pieces.
Okay. Is he the one that throws the coconuts at you?
Throw the coconuts. Yep.
Okay, I know who he is.
Batman standing on one of those things and Gotham, the high up corners.
Looking at what's it called? Gotham City's
evil. Thinking about the evil that he's going to smash with his fist.
I've got my hand on another small thing inside this package, which sounds
nice.
Sexual, taken out of context.
There's a couple things in here that are not small, I don't think. Or maybe they are, I don't know. No, I don't think they are in mine.
You should both have a medium-sized rectangle.
Because there's like two games in here. It looks
going for I felt the medium-sized rectangle.
Both of you grab the medium-sized rectangle.
Is that the one that's
doesn't sound
shaped
sexual
like
unless you're a robot? Yeah.
This is hilarious. All right, so we both got everybody 1-2 Switch for Nintendo Switch sealed with that fucking horse guy on the front. Wow.
I know, Jeremy. This means that you also have the game, and we're going to be playing it together. Whoa, come on.
I don't think we can. Way. I was going to say, I don't think we can play this online. I don't think it's an online game.
No.
Or is it?
I'll try it when I see you guys.
It might be. I'll say we gotta try it at least. Justin, I'll have to try
I appreciate this. This is a game that I would have never purchased.
This is hilarious.
As a first party,
this was the game.
Nintendo game. I appreciate this.
This is the game that we left out of our top 10 games of 2023. We forgot to mention everyone's actual favorite. Everybody's 1-2 Switch. This is really my favorite game of the year right here.
Look at all these psychotic people on the cover just going nuts over this game.
Wow, that's hilarious.
I think they're all like scared of a horse.
I hope you didn't. I hope you didn't have to spend too much money on this.
Nope.
Because I wouldn't.
As I recall, I had bought them for you already because they were on sale somewhere. And then they got something was posted on the line where it was a deal for the same price somewhere else. And then you said something about it, Trey, and I was like, well, I guess maybe I'll get it bought for me too, but we'll see what happens.
Oh, I didn't buy you every one two Switch. I bought you a game that was
So other than the card, you got y'all's stuff's different now. So
Now it's different. Okay.
All right, because there's a. Oh my God! Really? Wow. Way to try to force your likes on your friend here. I have Elden Ring on PS4. Oh my God! Do I have to play this game now?
And if you ever get a PS5, you'll get it. It'll be for that too.
Yeah. Elden Ring. I guess I'll have to try it. I'll have to play it on my backbone on my phone and see how it works. No, let's try it on the actual TV. I'll put it next to my Hitman game that I got from John. Actually, it's this. I have a case down there with all my PS4 stuff on it. No, I have.
I found a good deal on that one too.
I have like a wallet that's filled with Wii U games and PS4 games. Like the only thing that I have, the only thing that's left that I care about physical discs are on there. So there you
John, you bought so many games recently that I couldn't think of another game you didn't have besides 1-2 Switch. So
yeah, that makes sense.
Yours is a little different, but it's also me in a way forcing one of my niche interests onto you.
Okay, I've got this thing. Let's see, what is it? We got.
Oh, there it is.
Oh, that's not
Sonic
it.
picture.
That's
Okay.
actually from Trey as well.
So this Sonic picture is actually from Midwest Gaming Classic. Didn't we get it like 2 years ago or something?
It's 2018
It's
or
been a while.
2019. Yeah.
It's
Been a while.
It was whenever
old
you
one.
moved, whenever you first got your apartment, because it was supposed to be a housewarming gift.
About 2 years ago, yes.
Yeah.
Thank you for aging it like fine wine. Now it's ready.
I was hoping that you would have
It's almost ready to get graded by WADA.
I was hoping that you would have sent the Sonic picture because I was like, I hope you still have that picture.
It was actually like I had a hard time finding an envelope that would fit that in it, but then, hey, the post office had the envelopes, so it was great.
All right, I got one more thing.
John, this is what I meant about the niche interest is the one more thing.
All right, here it is. Oh, wow. That's cool. This is a tiny little Game Boy keychain.
And it looks even smaller with John holding it. It's like the size of your fingernail.
It's a thumb. It's a thumbie, and it is like the size of a thumb. I don't know how you can.
It's the size of a thumb tip. It's a playable.
Is it 2 buttons or one?
It's the Game Boy. It's got all the buttons.
So it has 2 buttons. So it has
Yeah, I
two
don't know if
really
it has
tiny
start
buttons.
and select, but-
Yeah. No, I mean like on the like the red.
It's so
ones.
small. It's so small. I can't see if it has start and select. Yeah, actually, it does. It does, but I think they're just like little plastic markings.
So there's a lot of games on it supposedly, but you can also load
That's awesome.
your own games
I love
on it.
this.
I don't know. So it's kind of like Artie Boy adjacent, but I just thought it was hilarious because I know
That's really cool.
Trey got you the micro Sega Master
The Micro
System in
Genesis.
Japan. So I was sort of like in line with that.
Except for mine didn't
so
play
cool.
games. Or does that play? Does that play games? The Thumby does, right?
It does. It's got
It's a
5
Game Boy
games
for your
included.
Barbies.
It is actually like it is like Barbie scale.
Mm-hmm.
That's true.
I
So
thought
it's
your
like
nephew
a-
might get a kick out of it too, just because, as long as he doesn't eat
Oh,
it.
holy crap! This has 2-player support with the Thumby link cable. You can do 2 players with this thing.
Wow, I want to
That's
see
cool.
how that link cable's got to be tiny. I want to see the connector on that. Well, it's probably like a USB Mini, but like smaller than that, right? Or like
Who
even
knows?
smaller than a
I'm
Lightning.
gonna open this
Probably.
up. Let me read the back before I open it up. So it's called the Thumby, and it's a fully functional video game keychain with an OLED display, sound effects, 6 working buttons, and a rechargeable battery. Where are the other buttons?
I kind
6
of wonder if
working buttons.
the D-pad isn't considered 4.
Maybe so. Yeah. 2-player support, and it's got retro games including Space Debris, Tennis, and Soar Run, like Dinosaur.
Oh, not
Help
yeah.
Dino run as far as possible while avoiding cacti. And you can download more games or make your own at thummy.us. This is awesome. Thank you.
Wow.
Mhm.
Let me crack it open.
I really want to. Yeah, I want to know. I want to know the impressions of it next week of the Thummy.
I want to know how anyone would ever film the screen on that thing because it was really hard to get the Artie Boy screen to show on TV or on my camera when I filmed it.
And it charges with the mini USB. Okay, I'm going to try to turn it on. Maybe I need tweezers to turn it on. Let's see. There it is. Look. You can't exactly see it in focus,
It's
but
it's
on.
really, really tiny. Like seriously, the screen is like smaller than your fingernail.
Oh my gosh!
Like if
this
you
is
can,
cool.
for the audio listeners, the screen is like I'm seeing you hold it right now. It's like smaller than like your index fingernail. It's like so small.
All right,
yeah.
I'm going to try to play tennis. Not that this is interesting for the audio listeners, but I don't care. I'm excited about this.
You can do. I mean, you can just explain it. Did you look
Tennis,
at your?
okay,
Did you look at your
tennis.
card in there, John? Did you look at your card?
Let's do the card. Yeah.
Curious about what your card says. I know what mine says. I looked at it.
Huh? You weren't supposed to look at it yet.
Oh, you said I looked at it last.
I know. I'm just kidding. That's fine.
I looked at it last.
How can you tell someone not to read something like if you just glance at it, you're going to have read it?
Well, I looked at it. You said look at it last, so I looked at it. All right.
Aw. Of course. Thank you, Jeremy.
Nice.
So
Those are those are what the colors were picked out. The ones that are highlighted.
So I mean, I don't know what yours says. It's very sweet, and yes, of course, obviously, it says
Nice!
Yeah.
It says Trey, will you be in my wedding as best person, and a date, and it has a color circle.
Amen.
Is that like the color that we're
That's
wearing?
the wedding
Club.
colors. Just have those colors somewhere in your outfit, but you can literally wear whatever you want.
Oh, okay.
Just those colors represented somewhere is kind of what.
Like all
John's
three of them.
No, you don't have to do all three.
Okay.
Just-
All right.
those
That's
just
the
those are
options.
those are
So-
like the theme
Okay.
of the theme colors or whatever.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Is it which color are you using? Should I match your color? I guess we can talk about this at a different time. But
Right.
yeah.
I don't know yet. Shauna's on the ball about all this stuff, so
Okay.
she's the one who suggested I ask people this way, and it would also be
It's a good idea.
a double
Yeah.
whammy. Yeah.
So we're both in the wedding party. I take it, right?
The
Yep.
wedding
You
party,
didn't say
yes.
you didn't say what yours said.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Does it say the same
Yep.
thing?
It says,
John
will
said
you be
yes.
in my wedding party? Yes. So, 9/8/24. That's the date.
9/28/24, right?
Oh, sorry. 9/28/24. Yes.
That's the
Sorry,
date.
I have dyslexia apparently.
Okay, yeah. So end of so in the fall, end of
8
September.
months.
Pressure, no pressure.
Very cool.
Cool. Thank you so much. And yes, of course.
It's gonna be a good time. We're gonna have live bands. Camping if you want, it's optional, but otherwise we'll have other.
That's
options
cool. I'm in.
available.
Excellent.
Karaoke.
Yeah, it's part of the wedding, right? The
Mhm.
karaoke part is. It's like we talked about it drunkenly when you were here last.
And I'll probably figure some sort of video game thing out, but that'll probably be more closer to the date. I'll
Or
figure
like
that shit out.
bachelor party or whatever.
Oh yeah, and also just off the record, like you don't need to worry about. Like I'm gonna figure that stuff out,
Oh, okay.
kind of like you did,
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know how.
because some people want the responsibility. Like you're taking on a lot of responsibility. Mostly, I just want you up there with me, and I
Yeah.
want
We
my
could.
best friends to be there with me. So
Yeah, I mean,
Let's
we'll talk about in the future, obviously, and let me know
hell yeah.
exactly what I need to do and all that stuff, and we'll do it. Cool. All right. Yeah. Awesome way to start the second half of the show here with a lot of
Very
gifts and a lot of.
Yeah, I was interested if we were
event
going to do it
things
with a
and all that.
guest because that would have been okay, but they might. have
No,
felt like that.
I didn't want to open it with the guest.
Might have had
I
to
wouldn't do
invite
it.
them to my wedding.
No. This is
The
if
entire convention. could
they
come.
listen to it, you can hear us talk about it after. But I did get another gift that was from my previous self or my old self to my new self to my now self, my present self.
Wow.
I have a thing that I got in the mail that I
Yeah, it's like,
ordered that I ordered back in what month is before September? August. No. I ordered this in September actually. This is something I ordered in September and I finally got it, and it's Amiibo. It's another Amiibo. It just came out, I guess, this week or last week or whatever. And it's hard to, it's the Xenoblade Chronicles 3 Amiibo of Mio and Noah.
Nice.
So we got to do our patented opening in front of the microphone, and it's actually already partially opened.
patented.
Because
Nobody else does this.
I hope they don't, because it's bad for your show. Don't do it. But we do it because we're silly like that. Because I thought it'd be funny to open things in front of a microphone. But I ordered it from GameStop, so whatever. It was nobody opened it in the mail. It just they probably opened it before they sent it. Anyway, Neo and Noah, or Mio and Noah. There they are. They're very small. But yeah, I showed this to Jess, and they were like, "Yes, shrinkflation is real." Cause
it's like Little Debbie.
$50 for these tiny amiibo. They look great though. They don't have, amiibo have come so far since the beginning. Oh, they got little X's on the bottom too for Xenoblade.
No P stands.
Really cool. No P stands. Mio has a little bit of a see-through stand on the back of her heel here, but they look awesome. Like they look very, very good. And they got their original weapons that they start off with, because if you played Xenoblade Chronicles 3, their weapons change whenever they change classes. Blah blah blah. Xenoblade Chronicles 3 is one of the best games on Switch. Go play it. I could have just bought that game for you and sent it to you, like the Elden Ring one, because Xenoblade 3 is like my Elden Ring. So, yeah. And yeah, Noah's got the big sword and all that. Super duper cool. Are those guys? And since you're, I guess since you're kind of on a time crunch, why don't you do the rest of your stuff, John? In case you need to bounce out.
You have to go, don't I?
That's what you said. I mean, that you can change your mind and stay extra. I don't think we'll go that much later, but whatever. If you need to dip. But either way, do your stuff next.
All right. So for what I've been doing this week, number one, I pre-ordered Hitman Blood Money. So actually, it comes out in about 30 minutes as of this time.
Oh, really? Is it that? Oh, yeah. Yep. It's like the 25th or something, right? And it
comes out on the 25th. Well, it'll come out 6 a.m. Still a couple hours, whatever. Comes out tomorrow. But if you're listening to this now, it's already out.
Did you see like official release times or whatever? They're not doing like an 11 o'clock Nintendo release or anything like that. Like, do you know like the actual time that it's coming out?
I didn't see that. No.
Okay.
No. But I will be playing it soon, so that's awesome. And I look forward to just trying out a retro Hitman game. The last one I played before the modern series was Hitman 2. It was 20 years ago, so it'd be cool to just jump in and remind myself what it used to be like. And I know that Blood Money was a pretty well-renowned game at the time, so I'm really looking forward to this. I got it for $5 off. It was the pre-sale price. So
so you did go for the discount. I figured you would. I figured you would. Like I kind of.
I figured I had to. Like,
I kind of said it last year.
Talk as much about Hitman and not get that game. But I don't know. Do either of you have interest in Hitman Blood Money?
I don't know. We'll see. You tell us how you feel about it, and then we'll see once you play it. It got a favorable review from Switch Up, so
that's cool.
I saw they reviewed it already, and I was like, oh shit, is it? Because I guess I thought it was the 25th, and I thought 25th was like next week. I didn't realize that today.
That's tomorrow.
I know. It's like what? Yeah. Anyway, yeah. I figured you'd get it because you're the resident Hitman fan, and
Actually, I've been playing Hitman again the last couple of days just to get myself back into it, so I can have a fresh perspective on the differences. So I'm really looking forward to this game. What else have I been playing this week? I jumped on the NSO and I played Force Gemini because I was just like, I've never played this game and I was curious about it. And
will you ever play it again? Now that you've played it.
No.
It's not good.
I can see at the time I could see how at the time it was probably pretty cool, but it just as a rudimentary third person action shooting game, it might have been forward thinking at the time, but man, it needs some dual stick controls. It just really does.
No. Here's what I don't understand, and I said this last time. Like, this is a post Perfect Dark game. This is a post GoldenEye game, and those games had like emulated dual stick. I mean, dual stick didn't even exist at that time, but you could do like move with the buttons and aim with the stick. Like you could do that, or as I called it at the time, the Turok way, because Turok was the first one to do that brilliant control scheme. So I don't understand why they didn't just adapt like the controls of GoldenEye and Perfect Dark to a third-person game like this. I don't understand why they had to like destroy it and make it whatever it was, because the controls just don't make any sense. Yeah,
the dual wielding N64 controllers.
Even without that, like why can't you just do what you did in GoldenEye, where you can move with the C buttons and aim with the stick? Like it's the same company. They already had that in 2 games, which worked great. So why not have that as an option? That's all I'm asking about from Force Gemini. I just don't understand. It's a post Perfect Dark game. They already had that on there. You could have just
Yep.
moved the controls from one to another, and it would have been much more enjoyable for what it is.
I will say I thought it looked pretty as an N64 game. It looked like a good, it was a good looking game, but man,
Yeah, it looks good.
okay. Curiosity, satisfied. I'm never playing this game again.
Yeah, it's a rough one. Yeah, even aside from that, I mentioned about the padding that's in it and how they basically make you think that the game's over, and then you have to go through the whole game again after that. And even when in 1999 when I played it, I was like, I'm not doing this shit, and I just rage quit it and then just never touched it again. So it has its own story, gameplay problems aside from the awful controls also. So I mean, glad it's there. I don't recommend playing it.
I had to do a palate cleanser, so I played 1080. And man, I love that game.
Yeah.
The game's still fun to this day.
Yeah, that game's still solid. It's still super solid.
You still get a real sense of speed from that game too.
It still looks really good.
Cool.
It blew my mind how good it looked when it came out for Nintendo 64. And I even remember was it my sister's husband at the time? I rented it and showed it to him, and he's like, "Oh my god, that's one of the best games I've ever seen!" Back whenever it came out, because it just looked so good for the time. It was such a beautiful game, And yeah, it feels fun to play. It
feels great. It's amazing how you're going down the slopes and say you hit some air and you're about to, but if the slope is going down and you're about to land, you just you can kind of feel okay, my board is 5 inches from the snow. Now it's 3 inches. Now it's 1 inch. You could just feel that somehow, the way it's so fine tuned. You feel like you have absolute control over this snowboarder person, and it's just a lot of fun. So it made me miss 1080, and guys, come on, bring back 1080. What I want to see Nintendo do is actually have a new Nintendo Extreme Sports series. I can understand doing a whole snowboarding game or doing a whole BMX game or doing a whole jet ski game might be a little bit of a stretch these days, but just do a Nintendo Extreme Sports series, make 1080 Wave Race, Excite, whatever, all in one game. Just do that. That'd be perfect. I would love it.
That would be great. And also, I mean, if you're doing, I just want them to re-release 1080 Avalanche, because that game was good for GameCube. I feel like a lot of people didn't play it, but I did. I got it on the cheap, and I actually really enjoyed it. It had some really cool. The avalanche part was fun too, where you have to race against the snow, trying to kill you and all that. That was a cool, interesting thing that wasn't in any other games at the time. And you get an NES board that was the NES controller, and whenever you jumped, it made the Mario noise, which I was like, oh wow, this is awesome. So there was fun, extra stuff in there. Plus, the soundtrack was all this indie bands that I listened to. I think Modest Mouse is on there too. It's a bunch of. It was a great game. I mean, maybe they probably can't release it because of all the licensed music on there, but I don't know. Find a way. Just I don't know. Take all the music out and release it. That would be. I don't know. That would kind of not be as fun, but I don't know. I'd love to see it re-released now that they've re-released so many GameCube games. I'd love to see Wave Race Blue Storm and 1080 Avalanche would be cool.
So the other game that I'm playing this week, besides Dead Tomb, which I was really enjoying, is Baba Is You, which I've mentioned before on this show in the past couple of weeks. But I just gotta say, it's firmly in my regular rotation now. I think I crossed 15 hours in this game.
Wow.
And I know I don't know what the total puzzle count is, but it feels like there's probably going to be over 100 puzzles, and there's you can do you make your own puzzles and play other people's puzzles and all that. And to me, I see no end to playing this game. I just think it's fantastic. I think every puzzle brings in a new and unique novel concept that just ignites the fire in my brain to want to play this game some more. It's just how it's so simple and creative all at once. I feel like by solving the puzzle, not only am I solving the puzzle, I'm participating in the creativity behind the puzzle in some way. I feel like I creatively accomplished something when I beat these puzzles. I think I said it last week, but I believe this is one of the best puzzle games that I've ever played, and I'm just really, really enjoying it.
Yeah, I can't think of many games that are like it. I mean, I need to fire it up and play it. It's been years, but I recall maybe a little bit like Scribblenauts, but nothing like Scribblenauts. It's just like
same kind of concept of thinking outside the box and using words
like
and
the verbs and stuff. Yeah,
yeah,
or the I guess nouns and pronouns are in this too.
But I think the simplicity of this game, how there's like almost, there's like next to nothing on the screen. The simplicity really lends to it. Really helps with the whole concept. Like it's trimmed away anything sort of extraneous and just like there it is. It's just a great puzzle game at its core, designed for you to tear apart in your own creative way. I love it. It's a fantastic game. I say all that to try and do my part to get Trey to give it a shot in the way that Jereme has mailed Elden Ring. If I had a physical copy of Baba Is You, I would mail it to Trey right now.
I mean, it's very affordable. I think it goes on sale pretty often.
I'll keep an eye out for it.
Really, really good game. Another one that is great, which is actually there's a free demo for it. You guys could try it. I don't know if you tried it already. The Pedestrian. Have you heard of this game before?
I watched a review of it. Switch Up did a review of it, and I watched that. It's
really, really cool.
Yeah,
I didn't hear you, Jeremy. Had you heard of it before?
I had not.
So essentially, the concept behind this game, it's another platform puzzling game, but it entirely uses signs. So like, it's taking place in some kind of like warehouse and out on the street. And like, imagine you're on the street and you look at a street sign and you see like a little, walking guy. Don't cross the street or whatever. Well, this guy, he can walk from one sign, and then when he goes to the end of the sign, he'll appear like down the street at the next sign, on the next sign. So like you skip over these swaths of land, and you exist entirely on these signs. But the signs can be rearranged. With a button press, you can zoom out, and you can rearrange the signs to the character's benefit, so that where he couldn't get somewhere before, but now you've rearranged the signs and you've connected the end of this sign to the beginning of this other sign, and now all of a sudden a new pathway opens up for you to keep proceeding. It's a cool it's a cool puzzle idea, cool puzzle design, but not only that, it's just married with incredible art design. It's a beautiful looking game. It looks
Sounds
very
like something
high
I
end.
would just like think about while I was standing at a bus stop or something, like
100%.
daydreaming.
Yeah, it's that kind of thing. It's like I can remember as a kid, like driving sitting in the back seat and like making my fingers do like a walking motion as like the car is running to make it look like my fingers are running. It's like that kind of whimsy and creativity,
like jumping over the telephone poles and stuff.
You got it. Yep. Yeah, it's very creative, very fun, and just beautifully executed. My brother-in-law walked in as I was playing it and just kind of looked. It's one of those games where it just catches your attention, and immediately he's like, "Oh, I love the design of this." It took 3 seconds for him to say that, and I had the same reaction. You just look at it and wow, this is beautiful, and I understand the concept just by glancing at it, and I want to play it. I'm definitely buying this game. Another one I've been doing this week again is more Inscription. In fact, I could say that I've gotten into it.
Nice.
I'm really liking the game. Yeah, probably done. I want to say maybe 3 hours so far. I think I'm a little slow at it just because this is not typically my type of genre for me to play card games. I really have to apply myself, make my attention stick to it. But I'm there. Like I get the game, and I feel tempted to play it when I'm not playing it. And I want more. I'm going to play through this game to the end.
So let me tell you a few pro tips if you haven't figured it out already. Get the statue, you get the little totem statues, and then you can pick the head. Do the squirrel one. That will make your life amazing.
Do the squirrel. Okay.
Because what it does, it makes it to where when you kill your squirrel to use it as a point to place a card, it goes back into your deck. It goes back into your hand, and you can use it again. So it makes
So
it to where
you don't run out of
have
squirrels.
right. So you don't have to draw the cards as much. You can draw the better cards. Like it makes
Cool.
everything a lot easier. And then what was the other thing I was going to say? Oh, it's just going to get a lot easier as you create your like custom cards. When you fail, it gets easier because you make more and more powerful cards as you figure out the mechanics. Like you can give like the little skull with like the cross through it. That means that card can't die, and it's just like the squirrel statue where you can like make a custom card that hits really hard, and when a monster kills it, it just goes back into your hand. So yeah, those kind of things will make the game a lot easier, and then at a certain point it'll make it like basically impossible to lose. You get OP, and that's when it'll start throwing new things your way.
Yeah, that's cool. I really like the I don't want to say flexibility of it, but the way that it changes. Like when you're doing better, I sense that this is actually like another player on the other side of the table who's deciding to amp up his efforts.
Yeah,
and it feels natural in that way. That's another one that I played over at my sister's house. My brother-in-law was totally sold on it. He loves card games, and he's one that I was playing D&D with a couple months back. So it was like right up his alley. And he immediately bought it that night. So you sold another copy through me.
you got it. Yeah, that's awesome. You got to stick to it because the payoff is really good in that game for like sticking to it and trying to like put the story together that exists outside of the game itself, where the game within a game.
That was another thing. Like when I played it last night, when I had him play and did the controller and said, "Here, play this from the start." And I just kind of was sitting there watching him, and it was getting a little late, and I was about getting ready to go. But I was like, I want to sit here until he gets to the part where he gets up from the table. And when he got up from the table, that kind of blew his mind. He was like, that was cool. That was fucking cool. So the fact that it always hints that there's something more, there's something just around the corner. It's so well designed in that way. I really like it. Yeah, that's it for me.
Well, can I go next just because
Sure.
Yeah.
I don't have that much to say. So, number one, I'm finally released from the hold that the YouTube video has had on me for however many weeks. My top 10 2023 games, you can watch it on YouTube now. I released it this morning. So go watch it. Give it a look and tell me however you think about it. But yeah, it's I finally edited that thing together. It's done. Done for. Now I need to stop being in this room like every night for a week or whatever.
How do you feel about it? Do you feel like your style's different this year than last year, or do you kind of stick to your style?
Well, here's it's just trying to I think I have a much better system for doing it now, because now basically what I do, what I did while I was doing this is I'll basically write the script, and I kind of did this last year too. I write the script for whatever I'm going to say for each game. I write that out, and then I read through it a couple times, and I'll alter it, to where I think it sounds the best. And then I'll record that, and then I'll basically place the footage together around the script that I read already. And that makes it much easier to edit it. So that's basically been my process. So the only thing is trying to, make sure that you have the stuff that you're talking about, but it's also good to watch what you do have recorded, so then you can talk about the things that you have recorded and all that, and then kind of piece it together. One crazy thing that I actually didn't know about until just now, I edit with iMovie. I know iMovie is whatever. It came free with my computer, so I use it because I don't want to pay $200 for that. I know editing programs are expensive. So whenever you edit with audio and picture, there's 2 tracks. So the first track, the audio automatically attaches to the picture. So if you want to rearrange the pictures, the audio will move with the picture, which is incredibly annoying. I finally realized that if you put it on the second track, it won't do that. It'll actually stay in one place, and you can move the picture around, and the audio won't move. So that was a huge benefit that I learned while editing this particular.
That's
video.
the way it is in Wondershare too. And I was surely this isn't what they want you to do.
Yeah, it's really annoying. Well, especially for me, when you're have these second long clips that you want to put in a certain order or whatever, and it attaches to one, and then you have to rearrange everything again. So what I was doing is I was attaching it to one longer thing that I won't use, and then I'll pull it back into everything after I rearrange it. But yeah, once I realized you just put on the second track, then you can just build it around it. And then I pull it up and then I attach it to the video, because then I got to put a song on it also under that. And I thought I did some cool stuff, like when I did the Dragon Quest one, like I use, like it starts off, I always do like, I'll do like a little cutscene at the beginning and a cutscene in the middle and a cutscene at the end is what I try to do, like without me talking on it. So the beginning cutscene, it has this music, and basically I edited the music into it that continues through the rest of that segment to sync up with that initial music that you saw in the cutscene. So it kind of goes seamlessly through the whole thing. I did the same thing for Octopath Traveler 2, and I thought they both came out pretty good. But yeah, just stuff like that. I'm still, I don't do video editing that much, so I'm still just fucking around with it. But I do want to try to do more video stuff this year. Like I want to try to do like showcase / review videos. I don't like doing reviews at all. That's why I'm not doing them anymore, because I hate them. But I like doing, I don't mind doing stuff like the top 10 video, where I could just say a couple things about the game and show some things that I like and then move on. I don't like doing like number systems and stuff like that and having a specific like whatever. I don't like to have a specific formula, that sort of thing.
I don't like it because of the implications it is for other games. Because if you start having like a score system for yourself, then you're straight up saying some games are better than others. It's not always like that with personal preference.
Yeah, well, and also it's kind of, I guess I've kind of doomed myself for having this podcast and all that, but, you don't want every game to be like something that you have to make a project out of, I guess. But that's just kind of my destiny because of this podcast. Now every game that you play has to be part of the podcast or whatever. But it's like, it's harder to, because you're, especially when you're writing stuff for a website or whatever, you're under a certain time crunch and you have to play one game for reviews. And what I found myself doing is all I was doing was playing review games, and I'm not playing any games for fun, so I'm just kind of like, this is kind of just destroying my whole love of the hobby and all that. Yeah. It's just that I don't want to, I never really wanted to do it as something that I had to make money for. I wanted it to be this other thing that helps me like, just escape to a different world and not think about myself as much as I can, that sort of thing. So that's the idea there. But no, I finally finished the YouTube video. I think it came out really well. It was one of my favorites. I thought my delivery was pretty good. I don't know. I don't want to, whatever. Watch it, don't watch it. I don't care. But I think it's cool. Thanks to all the people who commented on it already and all that stuff. I think it got a little bit more traction than it normally does. But I'm finally done with it, so I can finally play other games. And I was really excited to talk about a game in particular this week because, last week I was like really like big on Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown, and I fucking loved it for a good 6 hours, and I was really excited to talk about it this week, and I'm gonna talk about it, but I had a trouble. Something happened. I had an issue. Something happened. So basically, yesterday, was it yesterday? I don't know. Everything's blurred together. I think it was yesterday. I had just edited like the number 3, or no, it was number 4. No, I had just done the Vampire Survivor segment, and I was doing it, and Jess was, it was at 5 o'clock. I thought Jess was going to be off work, so I went upstairs and was like, "Hey, what's up?" And they needed to like work later, so I was like, "All right, well," I can do another game, or I can just like chill out. And I was like, "Well, I'll just chill out and I'll just play Prince of Persia," because I've been loving it for the past like however many days. So I play it. I'm at this segment of the game where there's do you remember what were the robot guys called from Metroid Dread that were in there? I totally forgot what they're called. You have an amiibo of them right behind you, Jereme. You can just turn around and look at it. What?
Emmy.
Like the award?
EMMI.
Oh, okay.
EMMI.
All right, instead of Y. So yeah, I'm in this prison area. There's a guy that's basically like an Emmy that you can't kill, but you can dodge, and he has this big like hook that he'll like grab you and throw you into a prison. And this is where I'm at. I've gone through the level a couple times. Like I was starting to progress through it. I'd find extra stuff. This fucking guard guy shows up again, and I'm like, "Fuck!" And he kills me, and I'm like, "All right, fine." Then I start back at the save point. I go through it again, and it's to the same spot. And the dude, the prison guy shows up, and I'm like, "I'm gonna get away from him this time." And he grabs me with the hook. And when he grabs you with the hook, he throws you into a jail cell, and you go back to the prison area, and then you got to go back to where you were. So he grabs me with the hook, and when he grabs me with the hook, the whole screen turns blue. Except for the main character, Jargon, or whatever his name is. Sargon? No, not Jargon. Sargon. And every turn turns blue. And I was like, okay, well, there's something's fucked up there. And then when I show up in the prison, there's like parts of the environment missing. Like you can tell that there's shit fucked up. And I recorded some of it and I put it on Twitter. But it's automatically, I press my select button, I can't go to the map screen. And I'm like, all right, something's screwed up. They have these little hooks on the wall that you can grab onto. You can't grab onto those anymore. You just slide off of them. And if you walk all the way to the end of a wall, you can see through a wall into the other room. So it's like, obviously everything's all screwed up. There's pieces missing. There's kind of like, there's like low texture, like platforms just kind of floating in the middle of everywhere. I'm like, all right, I fucked up this game and somehow. And I'm like, oh, this is funny. It's a glitch. I'll record it, and then like reset it and it'll be fine. So I just, I press, I go to quit the game. I do the menu and all that. And actually one of the brilliant things about this game, there's a lot of brilliant things about this game. This game is actually really, really good, which makes me so sad that I ran into this fucking bug because I was like, this game is like Metroid Dread level, maybe even better, I would say. Like just how insane the combat is and the bosses and like the depth to the combat and just, it's ridiculous. So when you go to the menu, when you say quit, it'll tell you how many minutes it's been since you saved last, which every game should do that also, just to let you know like how much you're going to lose or whatever. It'll be like, if you quit now, last time you saved was like 8 minutes ago or 7 minutes ago. And I was like, well, it's like 7 minutes. I can't open any doors right now because I'm stuck in this fucked up glitch world or whatever. So I can't go back to the save. So I'm like, I'm just going to turn it off and start off. So I quit to the main menu. And the main menu looked fine. I was like, well, let's try reloading it and see what that happens. When I reloaded it, it hard crashes. It like kicks me completely out of the game. So I get kicked out of the game, and I'm like, well, fuck, okay. So I turn the game on, and then it starts updating. I don't know if this update has anything to do with it, but there was an update on there. The game updates, and then I go to the main screen, and I click to load my thing, and it just stays on the load screen forever. It just never loads. It just shows the little prince guy running in the corner. I haven't timed it out, but I've waited for a good, like, hour, and nothing's happened.
Wow.
But if you, the main thing, which made me think that things are fucked up, is the save file is different now. Now it looks completely bugged. Like it looks like my save was like completely bricked. Because normally the save will say like, because there's different worlds in it, much like Metroid, like different areas are called different things. And it'll say like, this is where you are, this is your location, this is your percentage. And if you look at it now, it says !location, location. So it's already like, it looks like it's like, fucked. And if you look at the time that I played, it says that the last time that I played the game was in the year 2323. So there's obviously an issue here. Yeah, it says that I played in September of 2323. So yes, it's like 3 days before Jereme's birthday in 300 years from now. at 6 a.m. So, and it
when
said,
the Switch 2 finally comes out.
Yeah, and it said that I've only played for 31 minutes. It said that I played for 33 percentage or whatever. Obviously, it's fucked. So I can't load my game anymore. I lost like 6 hours worth of playtime on Prince of Persia, which sucks because I was having such a great time with it. And there was this crazy boss that I played like over the weekend when I was on a job, and it was like a full screen filling boss, and they have like they have the parry they have like the parry cutscenes like you would see in Metroid Dread, where you like block the guy and you do the move and all that stuff. And it was this insane boss that I spent so much time on. I recorded the end of it and put it on Twitter and all that. And I was like, yeah, I finally beat it, and I was having so much fun with this game. And then now I have to like start over again now, I guess. And
did you get a screenshot and all that stuff? Ubisoft about it.
I screenshotted it. I even because Ubisoft actually lets you cloud save your saves. So I sent my save to the cloud, so maybe they can look at it, I guess. Because I was like, can I like delete all my stuff and then put my Nintendo cloud save on there? But I think it cloud saves automatically after every time you save, so I think it'll have the fucked up save on there. But I put it on Twitter. I actually tagged Ubisoft on it. I posted on Laser Time, which the Laser Time Facebook group basically is about for Laser Time shows like Video Game Apocalypse and 30-20-10 and stuff like that. Michael Raparis from Video Game Apocalypse actually works for Ubisoft. So I was actually throwing out just trying to get a message to Michael specifically to see if there's a way that I can talk to, I don't know, can I send this to Ubisoft or something? Because this game's only like a week old. I think they should know that there's a fucking game-breaking bug in the Switch version that's going to completely like brick your save, So I'm going to try to do everything I can to get the word out there, and I'm going to advertise this episode as like, obviously the Dead Tomb interview, but also the bug of Prince of Persia, which really kills me because, like I said, this game is a fucking Game of the Year game. Like, this game is great. Like, it's totally worth the full $50 or whatever. It should be sold for $70 or something. Like, this is like next level 2D Metroidvania, whatever. It's really fucking good. So it just made me so sad that all I wanted to do was play this stupid game when I got done with my stupid YouTube video, and then I got my fucking save fucked, and now I have to start from the beginning again. It's like it just broke my heart. Really, I didn't know what to do with myself anymore. I'm like, I have nothing to look forward to anymore now that Prince of Persia like died.
Especially since you don't know like if they release a patch if it's gonna fix your save file. It does.
Well, yeah, right. and I even said it on the Laser Time post, and it's gaining traction. Like, I got a bunch of likes from Mike's on there from Games My Mom Found, and other people that I've talked to that are on Laser Time. Like, a lot of people have, try to like get it to keep showing up. So hopefully the people from Video Game Apocalypse will see it. But it's like yeah, it's just, I'm afraid of, like, I want to start another game, but what if it happens again 6 hours later? Like, that's going to be even more depressing. Yeah. Like, what if I run in the same fucking bug? And I didn't do anything weird. Like, all I did was get caught by the fucking prison guard dude. And I looked up online and tried to find it. I saw there was a glitch, which I actually ran into that too. There's a glitch with this moon guy. You talk to this guy who's like collecting the moon or whatever, and he wants you to like get pieces of the moon to bring it back. And after you talk to him, and you try to leave, like the camera won't follow the main character, and I thought that was really weird. So I just walked until I left the room, and then it was fine. And this was a different playtime, But I saw that glitch on there, but I didn't see the glitch about the prison guard. So I don't know. Maybe I can like email Ubisoft directly or something. But I'm gonna try to. I got to get the word out on this because, like I said, it's a pretty new game, and it's a really good game, and it's a shame that, if people have to run into this, because it really was a bummer,
Maybe you found a glitch that could be exploited for speedrunners in the future, somehow.
A glitch that will ruin the game for you? Like I said, I couldn't progress, I couldn't go through doors anymore, so it definitely halted my progress, like even with the messed up world and all that, and yeah, I
would say what you show as what it says looks like a bug report.
Yeah, right? It looks.
So I wonder if your file name is a bug report to them.
Yeah, I don't know, but I would. I mean, I don't know. Yeah, it's like, do I have to start over again? Do I have to like try to get the save fixed? It kind of reminded me of what you were talking about with when you played Sifu, when Jereme played Sifu.
Yeah.
Where you kind of like where it was like happening to you over and over again, and I just can't do anything. Like, I try to load it and it won't load, and I tried like copying it to a different file and tried loading it and it still won't load. And it's like, I'm like, I guess I think
I might have figured
the beginning
that
again.
Out. Anyway, I don't think that was a bug. Or if it was, there's no way for me to go back and look. But you go into a room that's like pitch black and you have to like walk straight forward. And then eventually you'll like see a light that you walk towards. And I had the brightness turned down too much, I guess, for the main menu. So it was just a black screen, but I could hear audio. And I thought I was stuck, but I wasn't.
Oh, okay. So you weren't actually stuck?
Nope.
Oh, well. I guess it's not like what you had then. But no, yeah, like I said, this game is like, it's an incredible game right off the bat, and it just sucks that it just died on me. Because I wanted to just do nothing but sing the praises of the game, but now I'm just kind of like now I'm just sad. So
yeah, I'd be discouraged from ever playing it again. When you put so many hours into a game and then all of a sudden something screws up and it's just gone. As good as the game is, just like, I don't know if I really want to start it up anymore.
I mean, it's not like it wasn't fun to get through all that stuff. I could do it again.
Right.
Does it let you do multiple save files? Like,
no.
Damn.
And it auto saves like crazy. Like there's no tomorrow. So I kind of like got auto saved into this, whatever this is, So, and I didn't even say, it even said that I would have lost like the 10 minutes when it was, like I said on the menu, it said like, oh yeah, you'll lose 8 minutes. And I'm like, well, fine. That'll take me back to the whack tree I was at or whatever, no big deal. But it didn't even do that. That's what it's called, is the whack tree. The thing that you save at. But
wacka.
But yeah, it's annoying. It's a good game, but yeah, hopefully it doesn't, anybody who got it, hopefully you don't run into this, because it's a major bummer.
But if you do, let us know so we can
Yeah,
add
if you do totally let us know so I could push more of it.
You might have a little daisy chain you can hop on and get your bug.
Yeah, but I definitely want to. Yeah, I definitely want to get the word out there to people about it. Specifically, Ubisoft, I'm coming for you. It's too bad because this game is made by the same people who did like the Rayman series and stuff like that. Like it's very, very good. Like it's a very good game, and it just sucks that they're
definitely a AAA studio.
Yeah, you can tell this. Yeah, you can tell the game is like done really, really well. AAA, whatever you want to call it.
They don't have AAA management.
But bummer on the. Maybe because I got caught like 3 times or whatever by the prison guard. Like maybe that's what I don't know what it is, but it sucks that it happened. But yeah, that's that. That's what I get. That's my downer stuff there. All right, Jereme, what have you been doing so we can wrap it up? Yeah.
So let's start out with Switch. I played a little bit of the Prince of Persia demo, but I didn't get too far in it. I like it okay. I'm distracted right now, and hearing Trey's experience, I'm kind of happy.
Yeah. Well, don't listen to my. Hopefully, mine's just like one in a million or something. I don't know. Hopefully, that doesn't happen to other people. Because, like I'm saying,
I'm going to be buying a lot less games at full price because I got
some
big expenses coming up the next half a year.
I mean, it's an Ubisoft game. It's going to go on sale, and when it goes on sale, buy it because it's like I said. We all loved Metroid Dread. This is Prince of Dread, is what this game is. So, and it's fucking great. It's very good. Like you can tell that it has a lot of Metroid Dread influence in there. A lot of people are saying Ori and the Blind Forest as well, which I haven't played those games, but I know John has. But it's also like, it's in its own. It's actually doing more than those games did as well. Like it's not necessarily a callback. I think it's actually like a like revolution of 2D Metroidvania games and all that. I think it's very, very good. I don't know. Listen to the latest Video Game Apocalypse.
Yeah, I agree with
they loved it.
Having the screenshots to like remind you where to go is such a good idea. I wish Castlevania games did that on the Game Boy. Yeah,
the screenshot thing is brilliant, and just like the complexity of the combat, like because there's like a tutorial that you don't have to do, but you should do it. Like where this guy will teach you all these different ways that you can chain combos, and it feels like a fucking fighting game. It feels like Mortal Kombat with like the way you can change like juggles and attacks and all that, and it's insane. It's like it's like what if Street Fighter was a Metroidvania or whatever. Like and I'm very into that. I think that's very cool. Or like what if Devil May Cry was 2D or whatever. Or Bayonetta even like those sort of games, but as a Metroidvania, like with the complexity of the combat. But enough.
Yeah, I was liking like sliding under enemies' legs and stuff. That was fun.
Yeah, I did a whole boss like that, where it's a lot of sliding. I was sliding like crazy.
You can tell it's definitely meant to be used a lot. It's kind of the dodge mechanic, but yeah, I could see getting into it eventually. I think I probably will end up playing this because Metroidvanias are up there my favorite genres.
Dodge and parry.
And dodging and parrying,
Dodge and parrying.
Hades made me love that shit.
No, that's what it's all about. I mean, I guess that's a kind of the Dark Souls thing too, right? Dodge and parry.
Yep.
Like you do a lot of that.
Although I don't parry a lot. To be honest, I've never been much of a parrier.
You have to in Brits. Well, it's like I said, it's like Metroid. Like you kind of like make it harder if you don't do it because you can get these big attacks. Yeah.
About parrying, but I need to go back to that. Oh yeah, I'll just mention that briefly. I got pretty far. I'm trying to remember who I was fighting. I was fighting someone that had a big chain weapon. She was like an old lady with the chain weapon. That's how far I got on easy before I died. Yeah, it's Sifu.
Oh yeah. That's a pretty hard boss. Yeah, she's cool.
She kicked my ass even on easy mode because I was up to like 71 years old by the time I got to her.
She's like the one-armed lady. She's got the chain, and then she kicks the chain at you. Yep.
And she just
it's a cool boss.
She always stays far away, and as you try to like close the gap, it's really hard to dodge the.
I forget what the trick is to that boss, but I remember thinking, "Oh, I can't do this, and then I figure out the trick, and then you can do it." Yep.
Still a cool game. I like it. I plan on put some more time into it, but I did play some more AEW because last week we played.
Yeah.
I guess it was the week before we played online, right?
We played last week. It was last week.
It was last week.
Last Wednesday.
Yeah, time is a construct.
You get to see. You get to see the all of the glitches.
Yeah, but I had a great time, and so I wanted to.
It's a shame we didn't make it. We didn't actually make it through any matches. I mean, I guess we did. We did Stadium Stampede, but
the big thing is I wanted to start career mode just so I could get a little better at it, and obviously it's going to hold my hand more than playing online. So I'm getting it a little better. I mean, the tutorials and stuff help. It is throwing a lot at you all at once, but
It does, yeah.
I'll just have to practice. But I did, get to finally create my character, which I put in the Slack. I put a picture of it.
Oh, I didn't.
I tried to
see it.
make myself as well as I could, and I'll show the listeners.
Let's see.
Oh, I can't. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I can see. Yep.
I've seen so
There
many.
you go. It's in the ballpark.
I've seen like so many creator wrestlers because I'm on a AEW group where the people do a bunch of them where they kind of, like I said, there's only like 5 faces that are in there, but this actually looks pretty good. You're
pretty good. Yeah.
You're so upset.
See it
Your
out of the Slack.
character is so
It's
mad.
hard to make a character happy in this, it would seem. But my name's Jer Fighty Man. I wanted people to be intimidated by me, like they know when I show up that they're gonna probably have to fight, because that's what I do. So I wanted that to be clear, by my name. And I do carry an American flag in with me.
You can do props and you can do props and stuff too, or you can set up like you can do like stuff behind.
I think it's somebody
too.
else's entrance. They run in with like an American flag, but I stole it. That's what I do.
Stole it from Hacksaw Jim Dugan. I mean, he's the only one that I knew of that was the big American flag guy.
Kind of runs with like
yeah,
not really a cape, more like a paraglider behind.
Oh well, I mean that's like a lot of the Mexican wrestlers do that. Like I know.
You know what? I think it was one of the luchadors' entrances, and then it lets you choose the flag.
Thunder Rosa would do that. She'd come in with the Mexican flag, like as a like kind of like a cape almost, or like a wings.
Yeah, I'm thinking like the paraglider.
Yeah,
kind of like,
yeah. It reminds me. Well, there was that Lucha Libre Pokemon that looked like that had like which is probably pulling it just from the Lucha Libre and all that. How Lucha is what it's called. That's one of my favorite Pokemon. But yeah.
So I played the first battle royale. I actually managed to. I think I threw 3 or 4 people out, but I still ended up losing. And I mean, I lost bad once my meter went down. But it was fun. And then of course, I got to the spot where I have to train, and I trained too hard and I hurt myself, and then I had to go to the hospital.
Oh shit! Well, yeah, you got to make sure that you have your energy, or it'll. Well, you saw that it'll show you like the percentage, like how like, and if you want to like eat before you go there, make sure that your energy is up higher, because then you have a really low percentage of getting hurt. Like, I was actually playing. I was playing a little bit because I wanted to record some of the story stuff for the video, and it was like my second time through. And I got injured in a match, which has never happened, like where I'm actually out for multiple weeks or whatever. And Sting is like my Sting is my like tag team partner, because they let you pick whoever you want, and I picked Sting because Sting's a legend and all that. And he's such an asshole in the game, like he's just like making fun of me for getting hit and all that. And I'm like, Sting isn't like this. Like Sting is not a dick like this. Why did you write him like this? I don't know. Some of the representations of the characters in the story are funny. Like I don't think Sting would ever be like, it would be like, haha, you got hurt. Like fuck you. Like I don't think he would be like he is in this game. But whatever.
Sting just has implements tough love.
Yeah, I guess so.
Partner.
Is that what Darby has to deal with him?
But anyway, yeah, I mean, I love how the game looks, and it's so flashy. It just got like all the videos and stuff in it. I didn't watch all the intro part, but they really you could tell they put a lot of work into the presentation, so that's cool. But yeah, other than that, like the only thing I have to talk about is.
And you got the you got the Royal Rumble also, right?
Yes.
Because I forgot, or whatever they call it. But yeah, it has the. No, I guess it'd be the Casino Battle Royale on that.
That's what it was. It was Battle Royale.
But that's how the game starts. And I guess what's cool about the single player mode.
You get a call from
Tony Khan.
Tony Khan, yeah, directly.
Yeah, the owner Tony Khan, which I think
He's
that's
so
funny.
Polite.
You're at a gym, and he like calls you while you're working out. He's like, "Oh, you got to come to AW." But yeah, it starts off with the Battle Royale, and the cool thing about the single player is it actually has. There's different like ways. There's different ways the story can go. So it's kind of like an FMB, but within the story mode. So depending on whether you win the Battle Royale or not, it can go in different ways, and it'll actually kind of show you a breakdown where there's like 4 or 5 different outcomes that can come from each one. So you can go to different things, and there's still a couple hidden characters that I never unlocked because I had to get to those specific like ways of the story. But yeah, if you wanted to go through it multiple times, you could see a different story every time. That sort of thing. So that's cool.
Yeah, it's neat. And thanks again, Trey, for getting that for me and kind of nudging me to play it, because the more I play it, the more I like it. But yeah, other than that, Baldur's Gate 3, I think I'm in the second act finally, and I'm on like level 7, and I've gotten to where, I'll still lose like battles sometimes in the field, but most of the time when I run into an enemy, like a group of enemies, I'm pretty good at obliterating them. Just got a lot better at like putting in the right armor and the right spells on everybody and stuff. So yeah, just figuring the game out better. But I'm in the Shadowlands, and they're pretty cool. Like basically you have to carry this torch around with you or the shadows will kill you. So that's probably like what's that game? Metroid Prime 2. I heard that was sort of like that.
Oh, well, yeah. I mean, Metroid Prime 2, it was like if you weren't in the bubbles, you would lose life.
Yeah.
It's kind of weird.
This is a little more extreme. Like there's literally like shadow beasts that consume you if you.
Kind of like Eco. Remember that game? They had the shadow beasts you had to fight.
And when the shadow beasts show up, they'll usually have other different like classes and different like race characters with them, but they like possessing them. So you're kind of basically killing a lot of good people because you got to kill the shadows. And also I keep accidentally killing characters that progress a lot of the side stories, and then it'll just be like in my journal, it'll be like, you killed that person, so now like there was someone who wanted a reward, and it was actually a pretty hard quest where I had to go and like kill somebody and then bring their head back to the other guy. But by the time I got the head, I'd already killed the other guy because somebody else asked me to kill him. But then I accidentally killed the guy that asked me to kill him. And then I had to kill everybody that lived in the village. And it was just a whole thing. So, I mean, I'm still like, I don't think I'm lawful good. I think I'm chaotic good. Is probably what they would say about me. And as far as my character goes. But yeah, I figured out like respecking is a lot easier than I thought it was going to be. And I changed my character to a bard, and I like the bard a lot better.
I thought you always were a bard.
Well, I was a bard my first playthrough, and then my second playthrough, I accidentally selected rogue, and I didn't. I guess I didn't go.
Oh, yeah, because you started it again because you had not played it for so long.
Yeah, and I'm glad I did because I understand it so much better now. But yeah, there's a spell called Misstep, and most of my characters have it now, so it just basically turns the battles into like lots of pushing and lots of backstabbing and lots of getting out of the way, because when you like walk away from an enemy or you walk by them on the field, they get an opportunity attack, and when you use this, they don't get that. So that's really cool. I don't know, it really helps you skip a lot of damage and gives you a lot more freedom of how to approach the game. So it just keeps getting better. I keep getting stronger, and the story just keeps opening more and more. And people like in the beginning that seemed really scary to me, now I'm like, they're sending me on quests to kill people that scare them, and it's changing. So great game. One thing I really love about it is like a lot of games have lore in the world. I hear Skyrim and some other games, Fallout, are like that. And then also just like a lot of environmental storytelling. But between like the books you find lying around, the journal entries and stuff, I just really love how it gives life to the world. And they did a really good job with making it feel like you're definitely still having to use your imagination, but they do a good job with the set dressing to fit all the stories and stuff. So really cool game. Makes me want to, I think I said it a few times now, it makes me really want to just jump into an actual D&D campaign and start throwing my dice. Yeah, it's a great game. Can't recommend it enough if you're able to play it, and hopefully someday it'll be on the Switch. I have a feeling it will be eventually. Not this Switch.
Switch 2, maybe.
This is like just one of those games that we're gonna be seeing a lot in the future, I think, because of how good it is. So
I've got to give it a more honest effort. I gotta like find an afternoon when I sit in front of my computer and really give it a go. I find that like because it's on the computer, I find it a little discouraging. Like I work at my computer all day, and then I want to go sit and relax on the couch. I was trying to get to work on the Steam, streaming it to my Apple TV, but it didn't work. So I don't know. I just got to find a day when I haven't been on the computer all day, and then bring the computer out in the living room and relax and play Baldur's Gate 3.
I mean, you have a laptop. You could play it.
I do.
You can play it on the couch, with your laptop.
Yeah, I can play it on the couch. It's just like still looking at the computer all day, and then now I want to relax. I'm still looking at the computer.
Yeah.
I would say the game benefits greatly from a big screen. I mean, obviously, if you've got a high enough res monitor, I guess that could counteract it. But there's a lot of really small details in the world, especially like items you can pick up and stuff that might, they're to scale of what they would actually be. So sometimes there'll be a potion just laying in the middle of the floor, and you're not going to notice it if you're like on a smaller screen, probably. And I keep going into areas I've been in multiple times and finding like new stuff. So, and that's one cool thing about the game too, because it's not a Metroidvania, but you do go back to old areas and you can access more. And in that way, I guess it has some things in common. So you might see something and you can't get it, and then later on you go back and get it. And usually it's not that cool because you're a lot more powerful by then. Like I said, I'm level 7, but levels mean a lot in this game. Like you don't level up very often, but each time you do, it's a huge boost to your character, and you get some really good stuff.
That's definitely how D&D was, and definitely most tabletop games. Like you don't level up like you would like in a console RPG. Like it's not like you fought a boss and you get like 2 levels or something like that. It's like when I played Star Wars role playing, I think I leveled up like maybe once, like in like the months that we played or whatever. So it wasn't really, it wasn't really an often thing.
Everything you kill stays dead, and so there's no grinding, and there's just a finite amount of resources. But one thing you can do is just loot the shit out of everything and store it in your chest at camp, and then sell it every time I meet a new merchant. I usually can get at least 1 or 2 of the really good things they sell by emptying out my treasure chest and getting rid of all the crap that I don't need anymore. Even just like random items, nothing's less than 1 piece of gold when you sell it. So even just like a plate, like pick up the plate, gold goes a long way in this game. I finally ran into things that are like cost thousands of gold, and that sucks, but it only makes me think that I'm probably going to get access to more soon, I would hope. But it's really cool equipment that I want to wear. Yeah, great game. It doesn't have much in common with Elden Ring, but it does at the same time. That lore, that story, that environmental storytelling, and that and just the sort of persistent world is really nice. I don't know. There's not really much of a persistent world, honestly, in Elden Ring, other than like kind of the gates that you go through, but still, I gotta say, this game's great. The end.
All right. Well, I think that's good for our podcast here. We can skip the news stuff really, because we're already like 2.5 hours now on a 3-hour long podcast. So we could save that for next week or something. But yeah, that's been our podcast. Thanks everybody for listening. Make sure and check out Dead Tomb, and thanks John Lester for being on here with us and talking to us about it, and all these other things that you're doing too. Go to Phoenix for the game convention and all that other shit. Definitely check that out.
Subscribe to GameStar 81 if you haven't already.
I did actually subscribe to it just so I could give it a look. So because I didn't even know, so I'll check it out, and check out also on YouTube. Check out my top 10 games of 2023. Not that you haven't already heard it on this podcast, but watch it in video form. I think there's put some funny stuff in there. There's definitely some funny stuff from Rhythm Sprout that I put in there, because that game's wonderful. That was a lot of fun to do that game, because nobody says anything about that game except for me, but it's a fucking awesome game. But yeah, it's check that out. YouTube.com/NintenDomain podcast. And you can also watch our wrestling stream from last week on there, where we all played AEW with Joe, and that was a fun time. That's on there as well. And also, if you want to be a patron and help us out, you can go to patreon.com/NintenDomain podcast. Only for $1, you can get our bonus episodes. For like $5 and above, you'll get WART radio and like the videos, and you can even get like physical stuff if you, I think from the $5 and above, you can get stickers and like art prints and other shit sent to you in the mail. So you can check that out. Yeah, and you can find Jeremy and I on Twitter at JMaxStack and at Nintendo_Domain. Go look at my at my Prince of Persia bug and just look at how awful it is and feel bad for me or whatever. Tweet it at Ubisoft. Make them look at it so they can figure it out.
Hell yeah.
Hopefully fix it in some way. That's
So knock on their front door.
Yeah. That's been episode 406. And we're your hosts. I'm Trey Johnson.
I'm Jerry Mikowski.
John Linder.
And thanks so much for listening. We'll see you next time.
See ya!